Hi everyone. Sorry, backstage. I literally had to cut Trooper off because I knew if he
Fine.
kept going, it would
It's
be
fine.
like we would never get to playing Witcher. And we're here for Witcher Wednesday.
I'm going to put the announcement in my Discord.
Good. Put your announcement in the Discord.
I'm
We'll let
going
Lindy
to.
introduce herself first then.
Yes,
Because Lindy's
please.
Oh,
special.
uh, thanks. Hi, I'm Lindy, Laugh Love Lindy, and I like to play games. Specifically tonight, I enjoy playing Witcher because, I am a Witcher. I'm a cat Witcher, just why I felt like my cat dress was fitting for today.
That cat dress is adorable.
It has pockets. It
That
just,
makes it
in case
win.
anyone wanted to know. Yeah, I love it. I saw it walking down the street in New Orleans, and I had to have it. So I did. And here we are, ready to play Witcher as a cat school Witcher, which is Brenna, Lady Brenna von Vedla. She's, got multiple jobs that she's got to do now. Because, why choose one career when you could have two with a little, hobby of murder? It's fun. Everything's great. And that's it. That's all.
That is all. I forgot to introduce myself. Hey all, you know me. I'm at Dear Gentleman on Twitter or Praxagorth. That's me before you see me around on Twitch. Welcome to the channel. Today is Witcher Wednesday. We're going to have fun. Hi, Trooper.
Hello. As we are speaking, I am right now typing a Eddie Izzard quote into my announcement for the Witcher Road Home on my Discord right now.
Which
And
one?
Tea and cake or death. And we're going to find out, I hope that
My
we get tea and
husband
cake today.
loves that skit, by the
Oh,
way. It's
so
just
good.
very frequently quoted in my household.
Yeah, but I suspect it might be death rather than tea and cake, but no one knows. So I'm Trooper SJP. Hello, how are you? I hope you're all doing well. I play Yanto, who is a courtesan and is currently got tongue injury, so he cannot speak very well. He actually can speak better than he's letting on. It's just that he kind of doesn't want to, because it's been a hard day, hard week. And he is currently in the guise of a driver, and Albert, I believe, and Albert. I just said Albert because Simon said it. The last person who said his name out loud was Simon, and then I just sort of translated it into French. But Albert.
And when you say owlbear, I think of like an owl bear.
Hey,
Like, hooty-hoo.
maybe he's aware Albert all this time, and
Well,
Prax just didn't tell you.
No, I have a thing. Okay, for those of you who don't know, I have a thing about owlbears. Yes, there are an occasion cuteness that can be from a distance, but there was a one-shot that I played in. Story time before you get into The Witcher, because
I'm
this
ready,
will not
I'm
get
ready.
out of my head otherwise. I played in a one-shot where the GM was mining chat for ideas in the middle of this one-shot.
Mm-hmm.
And we were third level characters, and chat decided 13 owl bears and a werebear were a way to go.
Well, I'm sorry. I think I misheard the numbers.
13 owl bears and a werebear.
When you say 13 owl bears, do you mean like owlbear ceramic figurines?
No, I don't.
Do you mean like full-on actual owlbears? Do you mean
Yes.
That's too many owl bears.
that's a lot of owlbears.
For level 3.
I feel like that's too many owlbears for level 3.
Yep.
Unless they were figurines. Like if they were
Nope.
owlbear Hummel figurines, it might have been okay.
Nope. No.
Or like plushies, like little stuffed
Yeah,
animals.
plushies. that
Or
would-
maybe if they were like baby owl bears.
Yes.
Nope.
I feel like you can take on baby owl bears, which those are very cute.
They are.
Cuter
Nope.
than the-
It was 13 owl bears and a werebear. And the barbarians survived because they ended up hiding.
Rage.
No,
And howl.
they hid in a howl in a little in a log because their rage broken, so they hid, and they were the only one who survived.
Oh, which edition are we talking? Third?
Fifth.
Fifth?
13 owl bears at level 3 is way too many owl bears. Plus a
Mm.
werebear.
Mhm.
That's level 3 is squishy. Owl bears are not
It was a game,
low DC.
but we're
Yeah.
not playing that game.
At least it was a one shot.
It was a one shot. We're not playing that game. We are playing
No. Witcher.
Which
Well,
is
I mean,
Where
just
we
as
don't have
deadly,
owlbears,
but I'm not going
we
to give
have
you 13
Albert.
owlbears. No.
That's cool. Unless they're Hummel
Albert.
figurines that are collectibles that we can then sell for lots of money later. I mean, I'm sure there must be like a great market for like cute monster figurines and maybe also even Witcher figurines, like famous Witchers. I don't know. We can maybe corner the market on collectibles. Okay, that is so adorable. I kind of can't handle it.
That is real cute.
Yeah, that is real cute. That's real cute.
That is the only thing that lives on my desk. Well, that's not true. There's like there's desk stuff. As you can no, you can't. But there's like papers and stuff, but only figurine is that. But yes, we're playing Witcher tonight. And after the it was a gift. Witcher tonight is interesting because last we left off, Brenna had just come back from chopping wood, where she countered, unfortunately, the poor unfortunate souls who decided, unarmed, to attack an armed Witcher, and she had to defend herself.
While she was innocently chopping wood, all unawares like, as I imagine how it happened.
I was getting firewood, and I ran into them.
You did, and they ran into you
with a sword.
They ran into your
Love
sword 15 times.
Yep.
But
they had it coming. You know what I mean?
They did have it coming.
They only had themselves to blame. I mean, if you would have been there, you know,
if you would have seen it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure I would have felt the same.
Yep, exactly. Look. Wow.
Grumpy Godling, I see you in chat right now, and it is true. They were axing for it. They were just axing for it.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But there was that. There was the death of a bruxa who had the appearance of Lady de Chalon, Marguerite de Chalon.
The Elder.
And you also had the discovery of a bunch of items, some of unique quality, but
all a little bit mysterious too.
Not all
right?
of them.
Well, because all the armor is like exceptionally well done, but with no maker's marks. It was like
the one. All of the other armor is just standard. The plate armor that you brought back was exceptionally well made.
Yes.
Very well interesting, but there's no maker's mark that you could see, and it seemed more
of a style that Kaderin had never seen before.
And the armor
was polished smooth, too smooth.
Yeah, it didn't have any. It didn't have any tool marks on the inside. The other big thing.
Yeah, and it resonated with magicalness, but it itself wasn't magic or enchanted, as it were.
Like there was magic in its creation, but not enchanted.
Mysterious.
There were some really good blades that you picked up. There was some other items from the bruxa that you liberated after Kaderin
like
killed
body
his
parts?
second bruxa. Well, a few. There were some less. Yeah, the other 5 sets were normal, leather chainmail.
Okay.
But then but then camp was made. Rest was had. Yanto was hiding again.
Which is what he does outside. He feels just a little bit safer in a hidey hole. That's all.
And the rings that you found. Some interesting things there. One of which is now in the possession of Aaron. But
Swords.
the night has passed. Simon will be joining us shortly-ish, so...
For the record, I would just like to confirm.
Yes.
We let's see. I got healing hands on day 122.
No.
Yeah, starting like the complex crit will heal starting on day 122, and that's for 6 days. It'll be done day 128. And we have spent what?
No,
this
you got
is day
healing
4?
hands on 121.
Yeah, because I had starting for 6 days starting 122 is what I had written down.
Inclusive of 122.
Yes, 6. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 127.
Yeah, so that's not it. You're on 125 today.
Oh, I see. We're on 125.
Yeah,
Thank
because
you.
we're gonna have Beltane when we can have.
Yeah.
I'm adding. We were going to jump a couple days, but we're without a Billy, so because Billy's not feeling under the weather, so you know.
All right, so we're day 125.
Yes, so you have.
Thank you.
2 days until you're fully treated, and all of the penalties go away.
Thank you. I just want to know what day we were in.
That's okay.
That's all.
Okay. Important things to know, and NPK attractive. Is there any housekeeping business that I need to answer for Lindy? Money, stabbings, all of these things.
I mean, I guess, did any of them have money?
Not any of the guy, like small coin
Yeah,
pouches, but
I'm good then.
I mean, not enough, like maybe 10 crowns between them.
Cool. I'll just,
I have a question.
Why let it go to waste in the middle of nowhere in the forest where no one's gonna find it ever, except for maybe, archaeologically speaking, many years from now.
I have a housekeeping question.
Yes.
Lindy,
Yeah.
do you come back with, any hands? Like, I'm just asking because sometimes you chop off hands and keep them. I'm just curious.
They didn't have. I don't think they had tattoos. I don't think she's also. No. They were just.
I'm just asking.
Brothel dudes.
Because like for all I know, maybe you like having trophies. I have no idea. I'm just asking.
No, that makes it too obvious. that's really frowned upon.
Yeah.
And also, it's not. It's not. They're not trophies. It's not like you want to mount like a boar head on the wall. It's more just. It's just stress relief. Really.
Right.
Yeah.
And the hand that she was carrying around before had
was
a
the magic
purpose.
tattoo hand.
Yes, right.
Tattoo
Yeah.
hand. She needed to identify it.
Of course.
And also to hold up to people, be like, what do you see? Because it's a good litmus test,
Yes.
Because if they saw the symbol, it was like, oh, that's interesting.
I should maybe stab you now. Just randomly.
Yeah. It's fine. That's all. No, that's my only question. I was like, let me see if there's any questions. Gold, I guess. Yeah. Not that she needs it, but
there was
why let it go to waste
they had
out
pocket
there?
change amongst them.
Yeah.
Look, pocket change is good. Just gonna have pocket change. Maybe we should give that pocket change to an orphan or something. Be like, here, don't ask where it came from.
So the carriage is with us. We have both carriages.
Yes.
Yes.
And you have a total of 4 extra horses now. A total of 4 horses plus Confidant. I don't count Confidant as a carriage horse.
Right.
Yeah, no, he's not. He would be very offended if we had him pull the carriage. Proud stallion.
I think I'd probably wake up a little early, which doesn't really matter because Brenna doesn't sleep, but Yanto would wake up a little bit early anyway, and would, let's see, we're on the mountain pass at the moment, right? So I think he'd probably go and, he's that kind of person that he would wake up a little bit early so that he could go and wash because he's very particular about his sanitation, his cleanliness. That's sort of important to him, and he always sort of wakes up just a little bit early to make sure that he's sort of set up. And he's particular about his appearance, and so he wakes up a little bit early, and he has his like a water skin, and he sort of like washes out all of the powder that he was using to be Bitonus, so he looks different, and he puts on using his disguise kit, uses a little bit of makeup to sort of put himself back into like, to Albert's, the sort of like get a really good Albert look going on. And sort of like tries to arrange himself to sort of look and smell and sort of be this sort of driver. And he sort of makes sure like, sort of like highlighted maybe perhaps a little bit of a, just make it look a little bit rougher around the edges. And he does that because that's a thing he does. He always sort of checks himself in the morning. And then I think after all that's done, because I think he woke up just a little bit earlier than normal, so he has the time to sort of do all of his makeup, and then I think he would, before Brenna's already up, but before Ardzo and Kadarn wake, because he wants to get up earlier than he wants to get up earlier than the group is now awake, right? He knows that Brenna's always awake, but he knows this now. He did not know that before, but he now knows because he's been on the road with her.
She's like, I don't sleep unless I'm at home, and I'm not at home, so I'm not sleeping.
Yeah, he didn't realize that until they were traveling from Kagan downward. He's like, oh, she doesn't sleep. And I think that, but he wants to wake up before the group wakes up, so he has a little bit of private time, even though Brenna is there. And I think after he gets himself set up, he would go and he wants to go and investigate the carriage. He wants to he knows that everybody else has searched it already and found all the things that are to find in there. And he knows that, so he doesn't think that he's going to find anything new in it because he knows that they've already done that. So he's not going to search it for secret items because he doesn't think those things are there. He thinks they already have gotten it. Instead, he wants to search it for he wants to sort of give it a once over, look at all the details of it to see,
familiarize yourself with it.
Yeah, but he wants to look at it and try to see if there are things to find, other things, not like, oh, hey, there's a secret passageway, but more like, okay, well, what materials was this made out of? How old does this carriage seem to be? Where do I think it was made? What can I tell about the travels of this person from their carriage, right? Like, are there any indications of maybe where this carriage came from, or how long it's been in use? And also, I think he's not like an animal handler, but he'd probably just look at the horses as well. Because he wants to see, like, is there something he can learn about the bruxa from her carriage, right? And that in a more sort of practical way, right? Like, this is a Toussaint built carriage, or or this is a carriage that this person just picked up, is newly commissioned, or this carriage has been with this person for a while, that kind of a thing. Just kind of like a provenance sort of a once over, because in his mind the group picked that place clean. They picked everything clean, including organs and skin and blood and whatever else they took in their harvesting. But yeah, he wants to just kind of give that look over, kick the tires, as it were, and see if he can learn anything in that kind of maker's way, I suppose, as opposed to like a just kind of just checking over the workmanship and style, and see if he can learn anything from that. And it just kind of like in a morning, kind of like just familiarizing himself with it in that early morning moment before everyone's going to get up and have breakfast and all of that.
All right, go ahead and roll me awareness then. Oh, no. Well, awareness first, and then you have a different roll.
Okay, I imagine crafting, which I'm not particularly good at, but...
No, it's not crafting.
Okay. Awareness. That will be an 18.
With an awareness, that was your roll. There was a general DC for that to, see how well you're looking through it. This isn't about finding things per se. It's just your general overall look at the carriage. You're observing the design, construction, materials, all of those things. And then go ahead and roll me deduction as well. And you're going to get a +2 on your deduction because of your skill roll with the awareness. I was using the awareness here as a skill.
Yeah. 33.
Ooh, very nice. We're just critting on this carriage, everybody. Everybody be critting on this carriage.
Look,
you're like,
it's a good carriage to crit on.
And you're like, and then I'm remembering that the when all the players in Critical Role all became obsessed with this chair. It was just a chair, and they just like, we're gonna study this chair one more time. Like, it's just a chair.
No, this is good. You have the carriage is well maintained, well constructed. It's artistically accented in a way that's stylish but doesn't sacrifice function or comfort. Enterprisingly enough, it does have independent suspension.
Oh wow.
So it is going to ride really nice. It is actually really well made. Very expensive. Definitely more... It has the accentuations that give the appearance of being from Toussaint manufacture, maybe, but it's nothing... But looking around it, it definitely doesn't give any particular design aesthetic intentionally. And if you look inside, you'll see that there are these 2 little hooks right inside the door, on the inside of the door, underneath the window, from where you would have hung a draped form of the crest of whoever this was. You're pretty sure that the design, like, they used Toussaint and even perhaps some of the mathematic, the engineering out of Oxenfurt to get the carriage to do what they wanted, but they intentionally avoided any particular design aesthetic so that they could, perhaps the individual who was driving it, move throughout a variety of different places without drawing too much notice, right? Or being too noticeably of one place or the other.
Those accents that look like they would be sort of Toussaint accents, are they removable? Like, are they accents that could be shifted in some way if necessary?
Most of them are. Some of them are just enough that you could perhaps, that are partially designed for you, that are in the function, but they're functional designs that would have just been like, oh, okay, somebody who had serious money spent to have a Toussaint craftsman make this, rather than just being like, oh, they are from Toussaint, right? It's enough to be able to say that the person who owned this carriage spent the money so that they could have a vehicle that is comfortable, well designed, well maintained, easily to go where they wanted, draw enough notice to highlight their wealth and design, but not enough to be like intentionally to be identifiable from one location or another purely on design aesthetics.
How old is this carriage?
It has a little bit of wear and tear, but it is well maintained. The wheels definitely seem to be running very well. Perhaps it's not like it's a car where you can pinpoint specifically the year based on the, like...
I'm just thinking about like how the wood is aging, that sort of thing.
It's like maybe a couple years old.
Okay.
It's somewhere less than 10, more than 2, perhaps around 5 to 7. But you've definitely see places where the repairs have been made and maintenance has been made, but nothing is... nothing to say that it's really old or brand new.
Okay. But that's still good. because it's about sort of thinking like, okay, well, like how long has this thing been going on, right? With like, this seems to be a very expensive, and you talked about some of the Oxford design engineering. So that means this is a special commission. And I imagine you probably just don't get these all the time. So the question is, how long has this particular carriage been needed, right? So like there might have been one beforehand, but if this is like a 40-50-year-old carriage, that says something different than if it's like a 3-month-old carriage in terms of how long this sort of thing's been going on.
This is in the 5 to 7 year range.
Are there any indications at all?
Also, the wheels are iron rimmed. In case if you want, because
metals.
In what way?
What metals are on this, and or is it all basic? Like I assume there's no silver or anything like that, right?
No, actually, there are very few metals as accents at all.
Yeah.
The only metals that are the only metals that are here are steel, not even iron, but they're steel.
Interesting.
But most of the design that you would like, it's not metal design. It's wood inlays. Very, very detailed wood inlays, but they're again very generic. They're very, very detailed of a very generic design. Mostly interlocking. What we in present day art historian would call Greek interlocking key design with interwoven shapes of a vine of some sort and ivy working its way through. General border design, it's professionally done, it's exquisitely done, enough that you have like 3 or 4 different inlays to give it some texture and rise to appearance of 3 dimensions. But the design itself is not, it again falls under this is a carriage that somebody could go, oh, I'm from Lyria.
You would buy it, right? You could be from anywhere. I suppose the follow-up question I would ask is, I'm going to assume there are no Maker's Mark anywhere on this carriage. I'm going to assume that is the case. I mean, I would look, but I assume I'm not going to find it because there weren't Maker's Marks on anything else. But that said, even though there's no Maker's Mark, here's the question. I am not a crafts person, although I sometimes fake being one. Although I'm kind of almost sort of a crafts person, but that's different. Sometimes you don't need a Maker's Mark to say, you know what? The only person who could do this kind of work is so-and-so or from that place.
Yeah.
Or this kind of work is so well done that I bet it's one of the dwarven families from so-and-so or whatever. I suppose one of the questions I would ask is, looking at this carriage and the very, very well done work that's gone into it, where are the places that I think such a carriage would have been built more likely? Do you know what I mean? Like probably not there. Where are the likely suspects, right? Like what are the usual suspects for this level of quality?
You're probably not looking in some place like Redania or what will become Kedwin. Just Oxenfurt, Novigrad, the big cities there. You could say something like that. You could say, oh god,
could
what
I
is
add
the capital of Toussaint? Not Belhaven, but
Belhaven.
Beauclair. Belhaven is not the capital of Toussaint.
No, it's a smaller town. This is a weird question to ask, but I would like to roll streetwise.
Yes.
Because the follow-up question would be, like, who are the people who might make this? Next question would be, who are the people who might make this who are discreet? That if I wanted to get somebody who's very good at their job, very good, but, might file off some serial numbers for me. And, some people who might be a little bit flexible in their...
Look, you're looking for the chop shop. It's fine. You can just say that.
I'm just looking for, I'm looking for a...
Wait, hold
I have
on.
no idea. So it was a fumble.
No. I re-roll that because I was about to tell you something.
Oh, yeah.
I was about to give you a plus. I'm going to give you the +3 from your earlier deduction crit.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
20.
And the reason I'm saying make the reroll is because I didn't have an opportunity to tell you. That's I don't. If you roll before I tell you something, I'm gonna always make you. You can think of off the top of your head that there are two locations off the top of your head that you can think of that would make this discreetly.
Mm-hmm.
There is one in Beauclair and one in words in my head. Novigrad.
Okay.
In Beauclair, you can think of the you've never met them.
Yeah, but I have a base in Beauclair.
You do, and you've interacted with individuals who have
proxy, right?
Not even proxy, it's a you've never interacted with them in particular because I don't think you ever actually needed to do anything with them, but you know how to get a hold of them. You know that the name would be Damien, and that's the first name that you've heard of. Rumor has it that Damien is never completed, is either been expelled from a guild or never completed his mastery to attain guild master status and is only a journeyman. But rumor has it that if you are in Beauclair and you need perhaps some discreet work done on vehicles of your choice, there are a number of smugglers who might know about him because he's good at putting things in. Look, he can put those smugglers' boxes in that carriage and no one will find them.
Yeah.
But again, so the name is Damien. You don't know anything more about them, mostly because you didn't need to know anything about them.
Yeah.
You also know that he works on recommendations only, first names, cash business, very discreet, very professional, and has been known to turn down jobs that he doesn't think are wise. And he has, and that's the other thing that will go with that 33, coming from that crit deduction and that 20 streetwise. He also has enough clout that he can turn down jobs like that. And nobody says anything. It's like, if Damien says it's not going to happen, it's not going to happen.
It's just not going to happen. Yeah.
So, you know about him. You know that there is someone in Novigrad, but you've never heard of a name.
Yeah.
The rumor is that they were attached to the university at Oxenfurt and were expelled. The rumors change and vary for reasons why they were expelled from Oxenfurt. Some say for inappropriate actions involving alcohol. Some say for political speech. Some say they got high and decided to strip naked and run through the campus singing loudly about the, imminent destruction of the world. Nobody's sure. The rumors grow with whoever's saying it. But you know that there's an engineer who was expelled from Oxenfurt, who lives in Novigrad somewhere, who takes unique engineering commissions. And it has to be to their interests to get them to do anything. You've never heard a name.
Yeah. Okay. So I think after like sort of like doing this sort of once over around the carriage, looking underneath the suspension, sort of looking inside, running his hand along the inside, sort of seeing what the fabrics are like, sort of looking at the wood paneling, looking at the horses, just sort of like noting them. Do they have
with the horses?
Do they have any brands on them?
No, they're not branded. They're both geldings, well-bred, beautiful carriage horses, well-treated, but nothing unique.
And I suppose
nothing that you would say would be like grand bloodlines or anything like that.
I suppose the question is, are these horses from Matina? Like, basically, were these horses swapped out? Do you know what I mean? Like, are these horses from the castle, from the keep, or
no? They were not from. They were not
Okay.
from Postvacht, and they're not any of the Matina bred horses or even Ebbing horses. Those are very unique. And Ebbing and Matina are more Ebbing, but also a little bit of Matina, and particularly the southern section, southwestern section of Matina, are known for their breeding of horses. They're very well known for this. It's one of the big things about the area that's discussed. These are not that. These are perhaps from Toussaint, perhaps from anywhere else, but they're not also they're gelding draft horses for a carriage. They're matched and paired so that they can match the aesthetics. They're both what we would call palminos, and the socks and markings are both designed in such a way that they look aesthetically pleasing. But they were chosen as both aesthetically pleasing and functional. But they're not anything. I mean, they'll fetch a pretty penny when you sell them, but they're not any great.
Probably they picked these horses up before they came to Postvacht, and because they were not staying in the keep but probably in the town, because we never saw them in the castle itself, and we'd heard that they were staying outside, they probably took the horses with them, let them rest, and then took them back out. But they've been traveling for 5 or 6 days.
Yes.
And this is not a 5 or 6 day journey, so this is a thing that he has not told the group, because he's not told them that he ran into her like on day 121 or so, 121, 22. So and they were already traveling then. They were already out. So he's thinking about the fact that this was like a very that's many days, to get to this point. So he's just kind of noting the slowness of their journey, and sort of doing that sort of walk around before he will sort of make his way back and sit at what I assume is the fire that has been built, because I imagine Brenna had got at this point in her is getting things ready for when waking happens, I imagine.
Brenna's actually trying to open up that lockbox, because I had not touched the lockbox of the writing desk. And now that it's morning, we got some morning light. She's trying to open up the lockbox and going through the travel desk.
He looks at you. He looks at what you're. He points at what you're doing with a questioning look.
It was in the carriage. I'm trying to see what is inside.
He watches you. He sits down across from you. And he watches. With
she's gonna get this box open. She can try to pick lock, but if not, there's more than one way to open a box. Is all.
He's watching you with a little bit of amusement, actually, as you try to open this lock.
Yeah, let's see if I can do it. I don't have any points in lock picking, but we'll see. I rolled it. It'll go. Hey, look, a 26. Did I open the lockbox?
What do you mean you don't have any points in lock picking? That's really good.
You did open the lockbox. For somebody with no points in lockpicking, that's.
I crit, which
you did crit, which helped you.
And I do have an 8 in crafting.
And you do have an 8 in crafting.
I did the 10 and 8 plus 8, so
That's a
Yeah,
very
you
good
see,
roll.
she just like takes out a hairpin, and then like it really looks like she doesn't know what she's doing, but it pops open.
Look, can I add something to this scene?
Oh please, yes.
I want to
Because
say
he's watching his little sister see her try to pick a lock. That seems like that'll be fun. So he's gonna watch.
I want to say that because when you pulled the hairpin, it was one of those things that Eleanor had tried to teach you numerous times how to do.
Yes. Oh, Eleanor totally would have tried to teach her this numerous times.
Is this the first
And
time
she's
it's been
like,
successful since?
Probably, and it makes her a little sad. She doesn't show anything. She's just like, oh, Eleanor, it worked. And if you're dead, I can't tell you. I think she just sits there for a second after it pops open and then just puts the hairpin very gently back in and then calmly opens the box.
Inside
Her
the box.
technique was terrible, but it worked.
He's just watching, quite interested in like what that was all about. Yeah.
You look, it's little things that maybe come to mind.
Yeah.
Inside the lockbox is mostly gold, a couple silver coins.
Hey.
Nice. Some smaller independent gems, emeralds, rubies, nothing really. A couple sapphires, but nothing of very high quality. Upwards to the amount of, if you count it, about 2,400 crowns.
Wow, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. He's just gonna sort of like peek. Where are these coins from? Where are they minted?
Yeah, that was gonna be my next question. Yeah. I just wanted to write it down.
Most of the newer ones are minted in Toussaint. I'm just using crowns because I don't want to get into the overly complicated fact that there are 6 different currencies in the continent at the moment.
And it's just says crowns on the sheet, so it makes it easy, you know?
Yeah. But if you want to get into the Witcher TTRPG, they do have rules for all the different currencies.
They do.
2,400 crowns is a lot.
Most of them are minted in Toussaint. Some are from Sidaris, some are from Novigrad, Oxenfurt. Nothing further north than that.
From Sidaris and Oxenfurt. I note that.
Also,
Sodden.
Matina City, nothing.
And
like 4, you find like 4 dwarven crowns.
Okay.
Or dwarven coins, but.
And he sort of like he just sort of looks. He doesn't say anything, but he sort of like observes and looks. But he's sort of like, because they're at this sort of. I imagine they're at this sort of.
I also think like
together,
when she opened it up, if he was watching her, she just like looked up at him and then like looked back at it like. I opened that box. Like, just a small moment of that when it popped open after she was like, oh, Eleanor. Oh, bro's watching. I opened the box. That's it. It may have been a one-time fluke, but she's pretty proud of this one-time possible fluke.
He's got a little smile at the corner, but he's not letting it spread too far as he sort of like taps the box for a moment to get your attention. And then he points to the travel desk, specifically the lock on it. And he just points to it and he looks at you.
Is there a lock on the travel desk?
Yes.
Oh, you want to open that one? Go ahead.
And he just points to you and he, like, be my guest.
I opened the lockbox, but I mean, if you insist. Hold out the same hairpin in case it's lucky.
And he holds up his finger. And he says, he points the hairpin and he says, makes this gesture.
She holds it out.
He inspects it to see if it's just a plain hairpin or what's up with it.
A regular hairpin.
He wants to check.
And
he hands it back.
He's gonna try to open the desk.
Roll that little pick lock.
Yep. I think we're gonna use
By the
2
way-
points of luck on
By
this
the way,
one.
there are 3 points of luck in chat. I'm just saying.
Oh, can I use one of them?
I won't be mad. I won't be mad.
All right, cool. I'm gonna put points in pick lock after this because I feel like she deserves it after that crit.
Mhm,
She learned
mhm.
something.
You do.
Oh no!
But you I love that you fumbled by the amount of luck that you ended up putting in.
Yeah,
That's true, actually. Yep,
Yeah.
yep.
She goes, oh, she got the luck off of it. I think that's what she says as it like breaks. She's just like, or it just like it bends. Probably bends more than breaks. Being a hairpin, she's just like pulls it out, sad. She has to kind of bend it back, half bends it back, and then just sticks it back in her hair.
And he goes and he reaches like on the inside, like to an like inside fold of his trousers, and he sort of pulls out small little case. It's like little wrapped leather, and he just opens it
Mhm.
up, and there are these lock picks, and he just sort of holds them up and hands them to you, or gestures them to you.
I mean, are you sure you don't want to? Takes it.
Oh, look, you have the right tools for the job. You get a +2 now.
All right. Let's see. You know, that hairpin worked real good that one time.
It did.
And he watches her
19.
technique.
19.
Almost another crit one off.
Her technique is rudimentary, but it's practiced. Somebody taught her.
We practiced it a lot. She may not have. It's just she's not very used to this kind of delicate work with her hands.
I don't know. I heard that the sort of the murderation you did was very delicate and lots of cuts and very
It was not delicate. It involved 2 hands and a sword. Precise. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
She has precision and she has practiced. It's the delicacy
Yeah.
that she's unpracticed with. I feel like if you watch her technique,
Yeah.
it's practiced. But yeah,
Sort of like nods thoughtfully, sort of assessing your technique, and then just puts his hand back out for his tools. Takes them and hides
your
them back.
evaluation. Did it open? It opened, right?
Yes, it did open.
Okay, just making sure.
And before she can open it, he'll just be like, and he'll sort of like just turn the travel desk away from her and then open it so that
It's away. Yeah.
just in case, because he's a little
Mm-hmm.
paranoid about those things. And he just,
Yeah. And we watched the poison dart go off into the woods. No.
No,
and
it's
then
not
it's
trapped.
kills
Kadarn.
Kadarn. Just in case.
It's not trapped. There's no traps whatsoever. There are a bunch of blank pieces of parchment.
Figures.
Inkwell,
Mm-hmm.
pen.
Mm-hmm.
Roll awareness. Both of you.
Okay.
Can I roll forgery?
Not yet. You can after.
Ugh.
This is something else. You can roll forgery later. The ink.
I was just about to.
Yeah. It's,
I got it. I got you.
The ink is different. It has a unique scent to it. You recall that particular.
The same ink that was on that stupid trapped letter.
Mm-hmm. And I'm going to tell you, and then I will tell Simon when he gets here, supposed to be coming in a
Yes.
couple minutes, that it's also the same type of ink that's on the letters that technically you guys don't know about from Lady Rillowen.
Ah, cool. Cool. She'll be like, this is the same ink that was the letters into Javik was written with.
The outside.
On the outside.
That's sort of like the gold, that
the gold with black.
Yeah, the two-colored ink.
Yeah.
Technically,
That's
this
the
is only
same
the
scent.
black, not the gold.
But it has it's the same mixture, essentially.
It's the same. The mixture of the black ink is the same, except it's just missing the gold.
You just didn't add the gold dust to it or whatever. Yeah. Gold flakes, whatever you do to get the shiny. I think she'll go through the papers just like holding them up to like the light, just to see if they're blank, or if there's some invisible ink on any of them.
All of
looking
them are
for
blank.
watermarks.
Just blanks.
Yeah, she just goes through everyone, make sure.
Any indications for like practicing different handwritings or
Now you can roll forgery.
Because like if she needs to like impersonate different people, she might have some like practice in there, especially since it's locked. Would imagine there are things that she may not want seen. 18 again.
Just keep rolling that 18. With
Good number.
there doesn't seem to be any evidence of like practiced, but and all of these letters are blank, and as you hold them and are like running your hand over them, there isn't even anything that looks like they were written on top of, like, so much so that you're pretty sure that that whoever was using this writing desk paid attention to things like, bleed and pressure and how much things can get trapped underneath and ways you can find information that way. And so took appropriate countermeasures, I'd say. There is no seal that you would notice in here.
Any wax?
There is a wax and a melter, but they're mostly generic colors. Red, black.
I was going to ask about colors.
Red, black, and one blue. Very, very generic. Nothing overly particular. None of the fancy. Yes.
And you can see like Yanto's just thinking about it. And then he sort of taps the lockbox on Brenna's lap to sort of get her attention. And she goes, and he goes,
the rings? Yeah, there was the what did we see? There was one from the Dechalon house, the Royal House of Redania. Those were the two with the seals, or the symbols on them. Did you bring them out?
He wants to look to see if there's any evidence of those rings being used as a seal. Like if there are any wax residue or anything like that.
Roll me awareness. No, there are two. There's the one for the Royal House of Redania, one for the Dechalon. Two that are seals that you didn't recognize.
Okay, that's right. Okay. I don't have that written down there.
And
two.
The one, because because I was doing this in my head, I was like, two. Then there are two more. Then there's the.
Because I had.
Then the other 8 are all basic bands, and one of those 8 is the metal that's unique, and that's the one that Kadarin has.
Oh,
So,
okay. I
There
have
are
this
4
written
with
incorrectly
seals.
then.
There are 4 with
I thought
seals.
there was 3 interesting ones, and that was okay.
No, sorry. There are 4 with seals. There are a total of 12. My apologies. I will clarify.
I had written down the Dechalon, the Royal House, the leaden ring, and
The strange
weird
ring.
metal ring were the only 4 interesting ones, and the other 8 were wedding bands and things.
Yeah.
So no, it was
there-
there's 4 seals, 1 dwarven one
Strange one.
strange
But the
one,
strange
and
one
then
is the leaden ring.
and then
is
there's
straight.
yes,
Sorry.
and then there's 6 regular wedding band rings.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
And the leaden ring and the strange metal one just look like regular wedding bands. They're
Yeah.
only noceable
Yes.
because of their material.
I just noticed because the materials. Yeah. Cool. So I will write down. I will fix that.
So that was my if I misspoke last week, here's my clarification. It's entirely possible. I am not perfect.
Oh yeah, no,
I don't
totally. I
believe
just wanted to clarify in my notes. In that case, she would also ask him if he
You're perfect.
recognized the other two because I thought there was only 2 sealed ones. So she'd ask if he recognized the other 2 and turn the writing desk so he can write out the answer if he recognizes those other 2. And she would also have asked, not Vishard.
Kadern.
Kadern.
Not Vishard. No, Kadern.
Not Vishard. Kadern is not Vishard.
Kadern is definitely not Vishard.
It is. See, everyone knows who I mean when I say it. So.
Okay, so.
Sorry, Simon. You're just embedded in my brain as Vishard at this point. I can't.
Look, it's a thing.
So yeah, I think I would check to see those other 2 if I recognize those 2 other seals. But I think more importantly, I would just look to see, especially the additional one.
Wax in them.
Yeah, any kind of residue, like if I think these were being used for sealing letters.
Okay. So go ahead and roll me. Thanks, Coldrake. Kadern is not Vishard, but they share the same abs. I mean,
that's so
fair.
true.
It's fair.
Fair.
Trans character abs, just trans-dimensional abs.
Shard has them on weekends. Go ahead and roll awareness again. And if you want to see if you recognize those other 2 seals, it would be education or.
Okay. 22 for awareness.
22. The one for the Deschalon definitely has wax in it. It's been cleaned.
Yeah.
Professionally.
But it's hard to get wax out of all those crevices.
Yeah.
And it's actually, if you look at it on the side, there's a little bit of crenellation, and it's got into the crenellation on the side in one of the little corners. So not on the top of the seal itself, but where you press down into the actual metal. The one for the Deschalon house definitely did.
Can I ask? I know it's troopers, but can we ask what colors wax?
Yes, the color of the wax was red.
Cool.
The one for the Royal House of the Redania, you can't tell. There doesn't seem to be. There doesn't seem to be any current wax on it, like it's been used in the last couple days or even the last week.
Yeah,
or
but
month
it is a seal ring, so it would not be beyond the possibility of it having been used in that way. And there definitely may be some indications of where that the ring itself has been used as a seal at some point. You just don't know when.
Yeah, because it would make sense, right? It would make sense if this is not a current alias, right? Like just thinking in terms of like if you were a person who like fakes your identity often, not that Yant would know anything about that.
Crazy.
Right. That this one is probably not one that has been used recently, but it's certainly one you want to keep in your back pocket.
And the other 2, one of them has wax.
Education 25.
25. Okay.
To recognize those seals.
To recognize those seals. Yay. Good job. All right. Give me 2 seconds.
But I will note, only on the streets, 'cause didn't go to college. You know.
Okay.
If I would have recognized him, I would have recognized him for other reasons, not for having, like I have not had like tutors with like fancy people being like, "Good young sir, this is the house of so and so." Yeah.
So I just go, "Hey, boo, who that?"
So
that's how Brenda knows houses from Gavril.
You should know it through other ways.
I will say that one you recognize, both of them you will recognize. The one that has evidence of being used recently as a seal with the black wax on it is the from a family of Lormark, which is an Upper Adairn. Not one of the major royal families, but a noticeable. Also, Kadern would have recognized it as well because it's from.
I was going to say then Kadern probably would have recognized it from.
Yeah,
but I don't think he actually saw it, right?
Well, you haven't talked.
He was really distracted by that shiny.
Yeah,
Because I think that I
metal
don't
one.
think you gave him the rings. I think you gave him the leaden one. I don't
No,
think, and the strange one,
I
right?
showed him. I just showed him all to him, and he was like, "Ooh, fancy."
yeah,
And,
and
yeah.
you didn't. He didn't roll for it, so.
Yeah.
No, he's like, "Oh, strange metal one. I'm all about this."
Used recently with the black
Yeah.
wax.
Mm-hmm.
So.
And Yada's gonna note this one and like look at Kildaren sort of sleeping and think, oh, I got to bring this up to him, right?
Yeah. So one of them is from Lormark, which is in Upper Adairn, because technically Upper Adairn still exists at this point. It will be going away in about 50 years, but it still exists. And the other, you would recognize as being belonging to. Where is it? Interestingly enough, Gamaria. So yes,
and that's when I put the like the shaving cream in Kadaren's hand, and then I tickle his nose with a feather, as it's just. You're still asleep technically. You're probably waking up right about now.
And it starts off our Rube Goldberg machine that we've set up intricately and elaborately through the night while Kadaren was sleeping. Well, not
like
Bashard was sleeping.
So,
and that steel from Gamaria doesn't look like it's been used recently.
No, it hasn't been used recently. It also has more wear. It's older, and you can see along. It's a silver band, and at the bottom you can see, because it's silver and how old it is, it's thinned from somebody wearing it.
You know what? If you don't mind, as Yanto's sort of looking at those, he actually sort of puts all of the rings out on the travel desk. All 11 of them, since one is missing. And
then she notices it, and she saw him take it. That's right.
Yeah, you did see him take it.
Yeah, I was like, that's right. I saw it. It was very not subtle. I was like, yeah, okay, cool.
And I actually think what Yanto would do at this moment, with all these rings, is I'd like to roll my fine arts jewelry, and I want to inspect these rings. It's like bring my little jeweler's glass. And I actually want to inspect these as a jeweler, and I want to look for things like, oh, that one's pretty old. Okay, let me see what I can think about in terms of age. Also, if I can find a maker's mark inside these rings, or what I can tell about them, especially the ones that are not fancy, right? Like those things are interesting to me as well. So I think I'd like to do that.
Roll those fine arts jewelry.
I will.
While you're doing that, we're gonna just pan around. So far, there's been a lot of deduction about all the crap that you've
and shockingly successful lockpicking endeavors.
Yep.
With 0 skill in lockpicking.
And by that we mean Brenna, not Yanto.
Yeah.
Yes,
I know.
Yanto has got lots
boxes.
of pockets sewn into his clothing out of which he pulls little tools, hidden. Like he's got secret pockets. It's what he does.
So go ahead and roll the fine arts jewelry.
I will do. I do not believe the fine arts kit gives you a bonus, though. I think only like the makeup disguise do, but I don't think the fine arts does. 33.
You still crit. It's fine.
Wow.
Look, what I'm good at is things
I hope
like
there's
jewelry.
Nothing terrible later, because this is only going to last for the first half of the game. I have a feeling.
Loop. Thank you, Valtiel. The jeweler's loop. Yanto's good at jewelry. That's what he's good at.
First thing that's very obvious, none of them are all the same size. None of them are the same size.
Yeah. These are all stolen rings.
All of them
Let's say.
All of them you are pretty sure, are too large for a normal woman's hand.
Yeah, she got these rings from dudes. let's say.
I mean, it would be a logical assumption, and that deduction would definitely work.
I mean, that's where I get them.
Including the de Chalon ring?
Including the de Chalon ring.
Oh, that's interesting.
All of them. The only one that's not on this writing desk at the moment is the one that's currently in Kadarin's pocket. But all of these are definitely... all of them are quality make, even the ones that are just basic bands.
Mm-hmm.
All of the ones that are, even the ones that are just basic bands, are... if they're alloys, but they're probably expensive alloys. The ones that are gold are, you would say, perhaps 18 or 21 karat gold. Side note, you don't want 24 karat gold if you're going to wear your ring all day, every day.
No, you do not.
It will just bend and break.
There's
some of these wedding bands are definitely worn thinner than others. They're rounded. You looking at these wedding bands, you're like, yeah, I could sell these. You could make some serious money off of selling these. You know, they're expensive wedding bands, but they're still basic. You can't quite, you know, the plain ones that are just like plain wedding bands, you can't quite gauge their general age because they're just...
There's not enough there.
There's not really enough there. I mean, none of them are, none of them are bronze, so there's no patina on any of them. They're all cleaned, so there's no real aging on, there's some dings and scratch marks, but but there's nothing that would, no level of oxidation that would give you anything of general aging. They're well maintained.
Yeah.
Very well cleaned, you might even say. Like somebody took care of them because they cared. Or, they were trophies. One of those two things.
This is what he's not that he knows anything about keeping trophies from people that you've done things to. Oh, she would have been such a great mom. But he's just like thinking about those like, he's like, okay, what are these doing here, right? Like, so he's like sort of like working through like, okay, these are here for this reason, right? These seals, clearly that's what they're for. These bands, okay, she's not gonna be wearing them on herself, so why does she have them? And he's thinking, okay, it's either a trophy, a memento, they're well maintained, or there might be some kind of a magical thing you can do with it. And he looks at that weird metal one as well.
Yep.
It's not on the desk. Oh, unless Kadarin put it on the desk.
No, he took the leaden one. He didn't take the weird metal. No, he took the
weird metal one.
No, he took the weird one.
Oh,
he
so
left the leaden one.
He left the leaden one. Okay.
Yes.
He took the one the metal that matched the hairpin.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Okay. So I just look at the leaden one then, and I'm like, oh, that's lead, huh?
No, it's not lead. It's interesting. It has lead in it, but it's not. Leaden rings are actually not made of lead. It's interesting note. It's just what they're called. It's weird. The seals are... You're looking at the one for Redania.
Which I have an interest in.
You do have an interest in. And with that crit, I'm going to tell you straight up, you are 99... It is the royal seal, not the personal seal.
I am very familiar with what that looks like.
You are very familiar with what that looks like.
For reasons.
For reasons. It matches almost identically a certain item on your person. I don't know where that item is.
It's not on my person because I was on a job. It's in one of my hiding spaces. We're gonna be on our way there.
Yeah, it's in your possession.
Yeah. Interesting. How old? Who made it? Do I know? I'm like, because with the seals there might be a mark. So I'm just looking for like a... You're based on your age, it is... and that's the important thing. It's the royal seal, but it's Radovid's royal seal, not his son's. And it's... Did my dad make it?
No, your father did not.
Okay, I'm just checking.
Your father did not. It just has the master guild master's maker mark. Your father is a very is a great craftsman and jeweler and all of those things, but I'm sorry, he's not getting picked over the guild master of Redania to make the royal seal for the king.
I was just going to be worried if that were the case. That's all. So I'm glad that you said no. Thank you. Because I would have been distressed. Like, oh no.
And you were pretty sure it's 50, 60 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It was Radovid's. The others, the other one that Kadarin would recognize from Lormark is Upper Adaran, which is technically still separate because Adaran isn't unified technically yet for another 50 years. Fun things when you look at timelines. That one is also older.
Mm-hmm.
And you, not because of the seal itself, the seal isn't changed, but you can see like the depth of the carving, the shifting of the rub on the ring itself, the use. You can age that one a number of decades. The others are somewhere between, are much more indeterminate in age.
Yeah. And I think what Yanta would do is he would start making some notes. He would, it's like dip the quill in that fancy ink and start making some notes for Brenna before he kicks Kadarin's foot to wake him up. But he's gonna let Brenna know. He's just gonna sort of write a couple of like little things on the paper with the rings on it, and it'll say little arrow, because he actually keeps the rings on the paper. Little arrow.
Yeah, imagine. I was just gonna say, imagine that's what he did, to just be like next to each ring, write the notes. Yeah.
Yeah. So he doesn't actually even really move them. It's just like Radovid's ring, royal seal, 50, 60 years, comma, parentheses, not my dad, close, Lormark, question mark, Upper Adaran, handsome uncle, older. Does Kadarin know them? Question mark, arrow. And then underline handsome again. And then
double handsome.
And then and this one's
very subjective,
and then sort of notes, right, Deschalons.
And she just like, everyone has different tastes as he's writing. Just like what?
How old is the Deschalons ring?
That's younger, perhaps 5, maybe 10 years.
Okay. Interesting. Right, so it's like 5-10 years, Deschalons, arrow, red wax, and then puts a black wax Lormark, sort of like recent use on both. And then he sort of just notes, he writes Kadarin right next to the Upper Adaran one, and he goes, recent use, trouble, question mark, and thinks about kicking Kadarin's foot, but doesn't just yet. And just thinks like, mask, identity. He just sort of like, you can see him just like, it's a little bit of like pondering as he like this note that he's writing to, that's also maybe a little bit to himself. And then he's the other rings, he's like, not special expensive, not useful for a ruse, men's rings. She can't wear them. So why have them? Trophy, question mark, magic, question mark. Think about that, period. And then makes the period a comma and says Brenna, so that it makes it so he wasn't just writing to himself, he's writing to you.
Yeah.
And he goes, so 11 rings, leaden pewter, And he kind of like just makes those notes, and he sort of turns the travel desk and slides it to you, so you can look at all those notes.
And she'll note on the last one. If she has the same ink formula as was on the front of the invitation, or the first letter to Javik, perhaps she was in league with said people who want to murder Javik and myself, possibly, and the Gavril, the boys. Perhaps, if that is the case, then perhaps the rings are not necessarily for her use, aside from perhaps maybe some letter writing, but also that she could have just been transporting them from one person to another, or one place to another place, if they're all working together on something.
And he starts to write something down, and he looks over at Kadarn's like sleeping body and like thinks about kicking his foot again. And he just writes down, Kadarn said different people use this ink from different times. That woman who tried to kill him? ?
Mm-hmm.
And also, and he pauses, because he's remembering, he's like, there were like different hands that were somehow like, it was more than one person from different time periods, different decades. And he's like, And then he sort of dots it, and he goes, dead people. And he goes, illusions, masks, bruxa. And he looks over at Kadarn, and then he just kicks Kadarn's foot, like the bottom of Kadarn's foot, just like kicks it.
What? Oh. Yonto.
And he points to the travel desk that's
Good
in front
morning.
of Brenna.
What? What's going on?
It's
How
morning.
long is it now?
You were asleep for the night and till now.
Well, that's dramatically appropriate.
And Yanto looks around,
He opens the lockbox and the writing desk.
doesn't see anything,
The
reaches
writing
into his pack and pulls out like some travel rations for breakfast, like not a lot, and then just hands it to him. It's like, I imagine it's like a jerky, you know what I mean? It's like a fairly plain jerky, and he just hands it to you. And then he points to the desk, like, it's work time now. You have breakfast, go work.
Oh. Where did the desk come from?
It was in the carriage with this lockbox. I just held up like Exhibit A, Exhibit B. They were locked. I figured it'd be easier to unlock them with some morning light rather than at night. So, here we are.
All right. And what am I?
He points to the one that's from Lormark.
There's a ring here from Northern Aden, the Lomark family.
Hmm?
Does that ring any bells for you?
Does that ring any bell to me?
Not beyond the fact that you are from Adairn. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
Does he know the family at all?
I've been in Banard most of my life.
And then he points to the writing, which is these kind of like little thoughts, things like, upper from Adairn, Kadarn's from there. This seal has been used recently. Right.
It's very strange.
And he adds in plot, right? Like plans, plot, recent, Adairn, you, and he sort of underlines you again and points to you, so he knows he's talking about you.
I don't think I'm. I mean, I don't.
Now you're
wear
waking up.
rings. I mean, I am. Let me get this straight. This here writing desk was in the carriage, And in it there was a lockbox, and in the lockbox.
No, there was a lockbox and a writing desk. There were two locked items. They're both locked.
What was in the box?
Not anymore. Money, jewels.
Great. I guess I get none of that because I slept through it. And those rings, they came from the box.
They were just in a bag. They were separate. I had the rings last night.
Yeah, you looked at the rings last night, and that's when they're the same rings.
I thought, yeah, my bad.
So you have the pocketed one that's the strange metal that matches the
do you need money?
Mm-hmm.
Then I can give you money.
So what you see on this writing desk is that
moment.
Yanto had laid out all of the 11 rings that he knew about, and he put them on this writing desk under a piece of paper, and then he sort of wrote notes pointing to each one. And then he sort of points to his writing, and then he realizes that's not going to be clear to you. So he sort of goes and he gets the pot of ink, and he points to the pot of ink.
Yes, the pot of ink is the same, has the same scent. It is the same ink as the front of the letter that was written to Javik, but with hearts of gold.
And he hands it over to you.
Which is also the same as those letters that Eleanor gave you out of
but Yanto doesn't know that.
And Britta doesn't know that, but I'm just relaying to you.
But it's the exact same ink.
Yeah,
I guess.
That Lady Relywin wrote in. Yeah.
Which I find very interesting. Means there's a connection.
Indeed.
Which we knew that Philiberta was visiting with Lady de Chalon. So, or at least it's a bruxa masquerading as Lady de Chalon. So.
He writes down on the piece of paper, B.
Yes.
The letter to Javik teleported
Oh my
in.
gosh! I'm just gonna say we have ABC with Arzo, Brenna, and Kadern, and then we skipped I. Yeah. That's all. It made me happy. We can make a soup.
The letter teleported to Javik. Magic?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Mm-hmm.
So he circles magic again.
It wasn't Philiberta because she was dead at that point, even though she did magic. I don't think Bruxas have that kind of magic. So
you would know more.
I don't know for certain, but I mean, I guess I can make a Witcher training roll to see if I know if Bruxas can teleport things. But I don't believe so. But I'll make a check. I could be wrong. Yeah. Bruxas teleport things.
You have known Bruxas to be able to do magic in general. This specific spell, you have no idea. It seems very particular and detailed. What little magic you know Bruxas to have done is usually to accentuate things that they already do. You know that they're
like take on the face, like the glamour, that kind of thing.
Yeah, well, you know that their general appearance is not, their ability to change from looking like a bruxa to a maiden is not a spell.
Yeah, that's just an ability.
It's just an ability. But you know that they have you've heard of bruxas also using glamour or illusion magic or
to look like specific people, which is what this bruxa was doing. Yeah, and so she was like, well, bruxas can do some magic, like the glamour and some illusion. But I don't know about teleporting specifically.
He writes down mind reading, question mark.
You would know with a 23, you would know that bruxas don't need spells to use telepathy. They can just pinpoint any mind around them within 100 meters.
I'll just relay that.
It's not
don't
a spell.
Need
It's
to know you're there.
Yeah.
They just it's like a so that they can sense the next meal. They can just 100 meters out. There's a body. Let's eat it.
But could these just simply belong to people that the shaman killed?
This bruxa killed? Yes, it is a theory. Also,
he just points to the word trophy, question mark. Is it,
I don't know if
trophy magic.
If she killed King Radovid, that is an interesting seal to have if they are trophies.
Could be a forgery.
He shakes his head.
It's not a forgery.
It is Radovid's personal ring, signet ring.
Yes.
He got. Given by his father, I guess.
He was the first Radovid.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
but
not
there
the
was
first,
another one.
But he's
There was
not the
a-
first king of Redania.
Yeah,
He's just
yeah.
Radovid the first.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how much we could get for that? If we
I'm
brought it
well
back?
aware. I was also thinking of things we could do with it. Like we could make me not a bastard if we signed something. We forged handwriting.
He just points to his notes for Kaderin. It says, for the age of the ring, it goes 50, 60 years old. He sort of points.
So that was not
That would
Radovid.
work.
Yeah, it was.
That was right.
Yep.
Yeah, it was. Because Bren is 53 and Radovid's her dad.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, right. I forget people old.
We're old. A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how long ago did Radovid take the throne?
Radovid's been dead
Mm-hmm.
for... Radovid's been dead for 30 years.
Okay. But then 30 years before that, he was king.
Yes.
But
So
like
60
how
years.
far back? So what I'm trying to figure out is this signet ring.
Mm.
Was it something that could have been stolen before Radovid became king?
No.
No, because it's too young.
Radovid, it's too young. It's 50 to 60 years old. Radovid's been dead for 30.
And he was king. He was king at that point in time.
He was king at that point in time. Radovid became king, if I do the math correctly. Hold, please. Because of how
At least
old.
60 to 70 years ago.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say 70 years ago.
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah,
63, and he was king when I was
Okay.
a kid.
He's 70.
He would have been king for like 40 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
makes sense.
Mhm.
So 70 years ago, he became king. This ring is 50 to 60 years old, and he died 30 years ago. It was his one of his rings.
And Yanto points to the 4 signet rings, and then writes in the corner, useful. Then he pauses and he writes cons, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then he kind of circles the other 7 rings, and he goes back and he points back to like trophy magic, and he just kind of writes less obvious use, and then points out to the one where he wrote all men's rings.
Mm-hmm.
And then he goes back to the one from Adairn, and he points at it, and he points at Kadarn, and he points the word trouble. Question mark?
I have no idea who this family is. I literally have no idea.
I mean,
Never-
you know the lore, like the lore marks are the rulers of Upper Adairn.
Yeah, but I don't know any of them.
No. You just lived there, and therefore you recognize it. That's it.
He writes, but you're a mage. When you say that you don't know any of them, and he goes, but you're a mage, and he points at you.
I am, yes, but just because I'm a mage doesn't mean that I stayed at the court of any nobles. I really do not like talking.
I'm sorry, you what?
Yeah, the court procedures and the whole.
Because I was very much under the impression that you loved to talk.
Oh no, I personally love to talk. I hate having to listen.
Ah. Oh, that you hate being around talking. Got it.
Yeah. They say nothing useful anyway. Have you ever been to the court of a noble? Oh, yeah,
And
right.
Just like points back towards Matina, right? Like,
She just blinks.
I forgot.
I don't have terribly much to say typically, so I do not find the listening all that arduous. I can see someone who has a lot to say would not have the patience for listening.
Nope.
and he points back to the ink and like hands it over to Kadarn. And he points back to the word magic, question mark.
Yep. Out of game.
Mhm.
We are still allowed 4 questions about the conspiracy.
You are.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anything you want to ask. I mean, I'm pooling these 4 questions among all of us. So if there's anything that you really want to know, like, because right now, in character, Kadern doesn't feel that we have enough information yet. But one of them's a Leaden Ring, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And you have the strange ring, so Yanto's not seen it.
And it was a dwarf who was inside of the house who possibly broken through the window or left through the window. I'm still very confused about the window, but there was dwarven footprints.
And as a GM, I'm going to give you information that you as players don't know. There was another leaden ring that Alienor had in her hand, but Ardzo has it, and Ardzo hasn't told anybody about it yet.
That's right, yeah.
But she'll say that there is a leaden, that could be a dwarven connection because there was a dwarf in the house.
Well, that's the thing. These rings are only given to outsiders to signify that they are dwarf friends. So either Deshalon showed up to Mahalkam and she did something to the dwarves there.
Or they took it from someone who was a friend.
Or they took it. But if anything, King what's-his-face? I want to say Broomer, but that's not his... No, Dwarf King of Mahalkam.
Fritz?
No,
No, Bruno, it sounds like he would be very, from a different plane of existence, perhaps.
Yes, but the name is very similar.
It is.
Notable people. Bruver Hoog.
Is he still king, though, at this point?
Bruver is... He's a dwarf. He's an elder. Oh, okay. He's been in politics since the first millennium. So since like 10 something.
Okay, so he would perhaps...
he's 400 years old by the time the war breaks out in The Witcher Tale.
Yeah. So yes, he is a young king at the moment. Well, he's a mere 200 at the moment.
Yeah, or he's okay.
Yeah.
So
he's an elder. He's perhaps not the elder, but he's definitely around.
A young influential. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, each clan has their own elder. And
each clan has their own elder, and you would know that.
He's
the biggest name because of Mount Carbon is the home of most of the technologists, and he is and he's the head of the clan of Mount Carbon.
Okay, so then who at this point in time? No, you know what? I'm gonna go with something generic. The Elder Council.
Yeah, that works.
The Elder Councils are the ones who issue the Leaden Rings.
Well, just to issue the Leaden Rings, no. It's each individual elder for a clan would issue the Leaden Ring from their particular clan. But the Elder Council would be aware of each of them issued.
Okay, that's what I was getting at.
Are there any marks on that Leaden Ring?
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any way to identify which clan?
There would be. Hold, please. I need to check
because we have, I think, like 3 Leaden Rings at this point, and it would be helpful to know which clans they're from.
And we have an Ardzo, like basically, if there's a way to, there's going to be like, oh yeah, this is from the so and so clan, this is from the so and so clan, because there might be some kind of marking on it.
And we're not just like, sup, people we've never met before. Here's a Leaden Ring.
Yeah. Yes, it's granted by the Elder-in-Chief, who is the head man of Mahalkam, and is elected leader of all of the dwarven clans who governs Mahalkam, and he will rule for life. So it's not Bruver yet, but it is... hold please, is he in the right age group? Yes, you know what? We're gonna make it Rundrin. Rundrin is the current elder in chief. Here, I will put his name in the because he's the right age, because Bruver is not young. It is too young.
Mm-hmm. Current elder in chief for Mahalkam is Rundren. Oh, where'd you put it?
In roll 20.
In the Roll20
Oh,
chat,
I see.
so that
Thank you,
even
thank you, thank
people
you.
who are
Yeah,
watching at home can
Thank you.
get the spelling.
Oh, that is an exciting spelling.
You understand why I was like, let me just
Yeah.
Rundren.
Mm-hmm.
And is the ring Rundring's ring?
It is
Or issued by Rundring?
all of these are issued by Rundren, because the all three of them are issued by Rundren, because at this point in time they're not individual clans. The elder in chief has to approve them. So as the elder in chief of Mahalkam,
Okay.
Yep.
he approved.
Okay.
So they're just generic.
They're
Cool.
just generic. I had to double
So-
check the rulings on Elden Rings.
Because
Sorry.
generic versus specific is a big.
Wait.
difference,
Question
yes.
though.
Yes.
This is a question that I imagine is general knowledge, more or
Yes.
less. If you're an elder person at this moment, is Mahalkam the only dwarven homelands or sort of region, or are there other dwarven communities? So, for example, would there be leaden rings
that would
that
go
would
to
get-
other communities?
Yes.
No, because there are dwarves that live outside of Mahalkam,
Yeah, but they don't live in a community that they control.
but most of those are the Mahalkam. They would live in various areas or whatever places, but Mahalkam is. You have to remember, Mahalkam isn't the Lonely Mountain. Mahalkam is the entire mountain range.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's different mountains within the mountain range of Mahalkam belong to different dwarf clans.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah. But we don't have because there's some like elven places down south and some elven places up north.
Yeah,
Uh,
there's
The dwarves basically all retreated to
Okay.
Mahalkam the moment that humans began doing their shit.
Yeah.
The dwarves were like, no one's gonna come bother us in the mountains.
they've
and,
basically been there since the first landings.
Yeah, some tried, they all failed.
So basically, Mahalkam is it.
Good to know. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So I would believe, rightfully, that Rundren knows who he issued his rings to. Once we get to Mahalkam, we can ask him whether this ring was given to Lady de Chalon by him.
And he shakes his head and he points down to the little notes and he goes, all men's sizes, the rings.
I saved Lady Deschalon a few months ago from bandits. Can I think of because I saved her and escorted her back to her house or whatever.
Mhm.
Were there any men of the household, or sons? No,
She had one daughter,
one
no
daughter.
sons, and her husband had recently died. And by recently, she meant like a year. So she was out of full mourning
Mhm.
at that point.
Okay, and so I will relay that then. So she has no sons. Her husband died about a year ago. I suppose this could be his ring if someone was into grave robbing or theft.
And then he writes down
see.
sons, question mark.
No, only a daughter.
And he writes mother, Marguerite, daughter, what was her name? I know it's my notes because she was betrothed.
I know it's in my notes too because she was supposed to be at the wedding.
She was the prospective bride, and her name is Seraphine.
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 And he writes down like mother, Marguerite, daughter, Seraphine. And then father dead, no sons. And then he sort of like crosses off the father, right? And then he writes down, he goes, okay, political problem, right? And he points, make arrow back to no sons.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, marriage, useful. Marguerite
Thank you.
dead? Question mark. Seraphim? Question mark.
Question mark.
And then he was like, then he circles Marguerite, and then he writes bruxa, and he circles that, and then he writes who is the conspirator, and he makes an arrow towards Marguerite and an arrow towards the bruxa, and then he sort of like puts a second arrow towards the bruxa, sort of indicating that's what he probably thinks, but he sort of looks to you both for that one.
There was supposed to be a wedding between Seraphine, but they hadn't stopped at the castle, so they hadn't been seen. The only person who was seen, from what I heard around town, was of Marguerite de Chalon and her 6 compatriots that went with her everywhere, which would have been the 6.
But then he points back to Seraphim, the name.
Which makes me wonder if it was going to be a wedding or something far more tragic. If Seraphim was not actually there.
Would it be
Although
that there
they did
was
say that the
never any groom?
Deschalons, any bride, perhaps?
Seraphine was supposed to marry
Florian, the youngest
Florian. Oh, okay. Hmm.
They also said that the Deschalons left after the wedding was cancelled very quickly, and Bruxa did not leave until a few days ago. Perhaps the Deschalons were there and left, and then the Bruxa just assumed the identity. The only way we'd be able to verify is to stop at their estate in Toussaint.
And then Yanto puts his finger to his head, and then he goes back to
Lady
Bruxa.
Deschalon does owe me a favor, technically, if she still lives.
And then he points to Bruxa,
Mm-hmm.
and then he writes Bruxa again, and he circles it again.
There were 2 Bruxa.
And like he nods, like yes,
One
you
was
got what I meant.
Seraphine. One was acting as Seraphine. Perhaps one was acting as Marguerite. That could have been the case if they were taking on illusions of them. That would have been 2 women. That would make sense.
And he goes back to
ring. I was going to say, if the ring was not issued to Lady de Chalon because it's a man's ring, then Rundren probably knows who he issued it to. We can just try to figure out who among the people that he issued them to could potentially have crossed de Chalon's path.
Was this Bruxa?
And he goes back to his like weird
A lot of potential people.
notes, and he points to Oxenfurt. Or he writes it down. He might have actually, I don't think he actually put it down yet. So he writes on Oxenfurt. And he points to Oxenfurt. And he points to Cadarn because he was like, he sort of taps his forehead. And he points to Oxenfurt, and he points to you with this sort of questioning look as he's trying to remember something.
Oxenfurt?
And he says, you, and he question mark, connection, and he points to Oxenfurt.
It would be tenuous, but there was an old professor who hired Eleanor, who then passed the job on to me to go steal from Lady de Ruwalden. Lady Ruwalden. Ugh. She only said he was a professor. I don't recall her mentioning Oxenfurt by name. And Oxenford is pretty far to the north.
And then he looks and he sort of like taps that money box, and he sort of gives a look to Brenda to see if it's okay for him to take it.
Mhm.
He takes it and he opens up the lockbox and he sort of pulls out a coin from Toussaint. And then he pulls out a coin from Matina. And then he pulls out a coin from Oxenfurt and he hands it to you, Kadarin.
I didn't know they minted their own coins.
And so then he goes, and he writes down, and then he pulls out one other coin from Sidaris, and he goes, "She has been all these places." And then he writes, "You asked me about Oxenfurt."
Oh God, I did?
And he nods. And he writes down Alvar, Viper
Wait.
Witcher. Our travel. You asked if he stopped in Oxenfurt. He did.
No, he asked if they stopped in Bruges.
In Bruges. Oh, Bruges, right.
You did,
Bruges.
and you did,
Yep.
and you did stop in Bruges, but you started further north, so you'd stopped in
Yep.
Bruges. But Kadarin had asked about Bruges, not Oxenfurt.
Right. Did we stop in Oxenfurt?
I mean, you could have. That would make sense.
Like in our travels?
Yeah. I mean, if you're making your way in general, you would have. Yeah.
Did anything happen that was important? Like, was there anything out of the ordinary when we were traveling?
Nope.
So I know that when we traveled through Bruges, something different happened.
Nope. Nothing exciting in Oxenfurt. It's a city with a university.
Well, I don't know. Maybe he like went and did something there. He's like sort of thinks about it.
But are you sure we can hinge a lot of our theories on coinage? I mean, don't coins change hands all the time? I mean, I'm gonna look in my pouch. Do I have coins from more than one place?
I mean, you
Actually,
would
do I have coins? Period.
You probably do, and you probably would. You probably would, but not that many.
Yeah. And then he writes down.
And when I say there are coins in this, there are 2,400 crowns.
Yeah.
In this lockbox. So
Holy shit!
Yeah.
there's a
There's a lot of coins.
Yeah, and most of them are from Toussaint.
Most of them are for Toussaint.
And then he just writes down, like there's like a pause before he writes it down, and he goes, like you can see that he's like contemplating what exactly to say here. And he goes, Oxenfurt, ... And then he underlines it. Then he ... dots one more time. And then he says, and he points to the carriage, the fancy carriage. And he says, if I wanted to make a carriage like that for cons, I'd get it made either in Oxenfurt or Beauclair, period. And he says, engineering, Oxenfurt.
Wow.
Craftsmanship, Beauclair? Question mark.
We could probably get pieces from both places and then have it assembled somewhere else.
I'll get the specifications from Oxenfurt and have it assembled in Beauclair.
Would you really trust both their engineers, though?
And he writes down cons. He underlines it. He underlines the word cons. And he's sort of like,
but you still need to figure out.
The engineers do the design. The craftsman would do the manufacturing to the specifications.
and he writes down, I know discreet underlines 3 times.
Mm.
People.
Mhm. That's true. But then, what would be the point of a bruxa going all along the continent, just conning people into what? Eating them? And then keeping the rings?
And then he points back to the word conspiracy that was what
Because
Brenna
the
had
ink.
brought up.
I think if it's the same bruxa that was associated with the other bruxas, they were friends with Philiberta, and we know who Philiberta was friends with.
Yes. Do we
We're all
have
working
any
together on
other
something.
letters? At all?
We have the letter from the Javik letter. We have that.
Oh,
No,
I'll just
I
pull
meant
out the
from
letter.
the writing desk.
No, there are no letters. Just
All
inks
empty.
and 3 colors of wax, and their ink pot and pens and stuff. Blank papers. We checked for his blank, so.
That
And he would have held it up against by the fire to make sure, because that's how you can get that one out.
By curiosity, that ink, how full is the ink pot?
About half.
So she's been using it.
Oh, I'll pull out the letter that has the. Yes, this is from the Deschalons. We would like this much money. We will pay you this much money for information on the Witcher Brenna.
The bounty letter,
Martina. I'll pull out the bounty letter and see if there's any similarities to the ink or anything in there. Pull out the bounty letter.
Are there?
To which letter?
The bounty letter compared to like the ink in the bottle.
Yeah, the one that's like
or
we're looking for the
or if it just matches with any of the other letters we have. We're like, is there there similarities?
There are handwriting similarities.
Oh, are there?
To
which letters?
To the outside of the one that's cursed.
Okay.
But
I'll point that out.
But not
the inside.
But not the inside.
The one that's in the same ink as the weird ink. Oh look, it's a similar handwriting to the front of the cursed letter.
And he writes down, and he does this.
It has the Deschalon seal, right? Boop.
What?
On the bounty letters, the Deschalon seal.
Yeah, the one with the bounty letter has the Deschalon seal on the inside.
Does it match the ring?
It's not sealed. It's sketched.
Yeah.
It's sketched. Okay.
Because it wasn't like sealed in wax, and it does match the
Mm-hmm.
ring, but it's just drawn.
Okay, just wanted to check. So just throw that up. Just throw that out there.
Handwriting
is similar. The ink is different, so.
He makes the beard gesture, and then he writes down Baldwin, dead, ? Lady R, dead, ? And then he writes fake Marguerite Deschalon, dead, ? And then he writes bruxa, false face, werewolves, illusion, lots of illusion, false identities, ? And he kind of looks to Kadern, because Kadern's a mage, so mages know all these things.
Hey, mage boy, use your big brain, is what he says.
She's like, this seems like a magic thing. You know magic things. And then he just underlines illusion magic again, and he kind of looks at you like,
I don't think they could do magic.
Who?
Well, the Deschalon.
Oh, I don't know about the Dechelons, but bruxas can use some.
Can bruxas do magic?
Some
Nah.
illusion, that kind of thing.
Do you know if
I was
bruxas
presenting
ever?
specifically as Lady Dechelon. Rather than it's just a generic fair maiden.
Oh, okay. So they cannot take on a specific.
Not without magic.
And then he sort of points down to the part where he says teleported letter, and he points down to that.
Mm-hmm.
And then he finds where he wrote the word magic, and he points to that.
Well, definitely. I don't even know how to teleport objects. Well, I mean, I teleport objects on myself when I teleport, but
just individual
just an
objects.
object itself, I've never done so. It wasn't really covered in the syllabus either.
And he writes, Bruxa wrote outside of letter, ? Letter teleported into castle, period. Inside by a big mage. Cadarn's boyfriend, ? The old one, period. Someone else, ? Filiberta, not a good mage, ? Ringleader, ? Baldwin, a mage, ? Not Baldwin, ? Priests, not mages.
That makes a lot of people in this tangled web.
Right, and he sort of points Baldwin, Lady R, he writes down Filiberta, and he points to your boyfriend. Then he makes a little lightning bolt.
Who is that supposed to be? Oh, Alzor? That's not his. They didn't date.
No, no, I would no. They say never to date your heroes.
And then he just puts a little heart, and he writes Cadarn, Alzor, and he puts a little heart in between the two of them with a little arrow.
I burned the letter.
I
I just Cadfin's grasp the letter.
He looks at it as it burns.
Could it be? I'm giving this theory away, but I'm also going to out of game ask it as a question, one of the 4 questions. Could it be that this bruxa was actually ferrying the rings to someone else?
That is what I suggested earlier. If they were involved in the conspiracies, they would be transporting the rings, possibly to others to use. The Dechelon ring would have been very helpful with the wedding.
Because the rings were found in a bag, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which means
that it's a lockbox.
It's pretty much inconspicuous. You know, you just have a bag that jingles.
Who had the bag?
It was
in the
black
carriage.
small black velvet pouch that was found inside the carriage, in one of the hiding spaces inside the carriage.
In one of the hiding spaces inside the carriage.
Mm-hmm.
And you're asking this as one of your 4 questions?
Yeah, because it feels like this was a smuggling job.
The rings were hidden, but I'm just gonna tell you, no. It was not a smuggling job. They belonged.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and like Yanto thinks that because of the trophies. Because these seem like trophies, right?
And if you think, and because you asked, and I'll just give you the information because it's one of your 4 questions. Yeah, these were trophies that the bruxa took.
Yeah, because because Yanto
I
sometimes
never asked
also
how
takes
Lady
trophies.
Dechelon's husband died.
You know, like I'm just saying that Yanto's like, I also take trophies from people when I steal from them.
I was really sold on the transit.
I take
thing.
trophies when I sleep with. What?
Oh, but usually the people that I'm stealing from, I'm also sleeping with, so it's similar. Actually, it's the same.
I've never taken trophies.
So if we're persuaded that these are trophies,
probably, and he, but then he points like he wrote trophy first, but then he wrote magic, and he sort of since you're awake, he goes, are there magic uses for rings from someone?
I'm gonna roll magic training on that because Simon's brain is not working right, and I can't really remember anything.
Yanto thinks it's trophies, but he also doesn't know magic, right? So he's like open to the idea that it could be a
But with
magic
a
situation.
13, a 13 is still good enough to know some basic information. Number one, you can use them to clarify scrying.
Oh yeah, the School of Magic I've never paid attention to.
Yeah, it's the School of Magic you don't pay attention to, which is why, it's like, and
Yanto shakes his head on the scrying. He thinks like, oh, he's like, no, I don't think so.
you know that they can be used. You know that jewelry in general can be used to anchor spells.
He writes, "Is there magic on these rings?" Question mark.
That would be a separate magical training roll.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get to that, but I just need to. I need someone to jog my memory here.
Mm-hmm.
There weren't any rings tied to the candles that were burning, right?
Nope.
Because I have this weird vision, like half memory in my head. Okay. Then yes, are any of them magical?
Roll magical training.
Yeah, I'm gonna add 2 points of luck to that.
By the way,
And
there
you
are
also
4
have
points of luck that Chet has for you.
And you
With
also have that
26.
hidden ring that
Yeah, I'm gonna get to it after, because that one I know is magical. But 26.
is it magical, or is it just from that strange space?
You didn't roll magical training to
Yeah, you
determine whether or not it was
yeah.
magical. You didn't roll magical training on any of them, so I didn't say.
Yeah.
But you know
Well,
that
the
it's from
dagger
same-
was, yes.
The dagger is, yes.
Yeah.
Well, yes, the dagger is, and the armor is
It's magically made.
magically made and
But not
strange metal,
enchanted.
but not
Yeah.
that you don't recognize. But it's not itself magical. The rings. The leaden ring is not. Radovid's is not. The seal from Redania is not. Deschalon's is.
Oh.
Okay, wait. I'm gonna have to ask you to repeat that because I wasn't in edit on my sheet.
Redania
Echelon's ring
Sidaris.
is magical.
Okay, wait. So we have Radovid's.
No.
We have a leaden ring.
No.
We have. What was the other one?
We have Redania Sidaris, Lormark, and Deschalon are the sealed rings.
Gamaria.
No, not Sidaris, Gamaria. You have coins from Sidaris. The ring is from Gamaria.
Thank you,
Mhm.
Gamaria.
Okay, but the Deschalon one is magic.
Is magical.
Okay,
It's
right
the
now.
only one that's magic.
Right now I have
right?
5 in my list. So which ones am I
12
missing?
rings total. 6 are mundane looking. They just look like regular bands, like wedding bands. And then there's that fancy ring you took and have in your
Okay.
pocket. There's the leaden ring,
Mhm.
the Deschalon ring, the Redanian ring, the Lormark, and the Gamaria ring.
Mhm.
Okay, good. So in that case, once I've looked at all of them, the Deschalon ring.
Is that the only one that's magical?
That is the only one that's
Okay.
Can I try to understand the sort of the I want to identify it.
What's
you do.
magical about it?
with the we'll keep the 26 because it's the same thing. Gold is awareness. It is similar. You experience it has similar properties to it. And as you're kind of rolling it around in your hand, you feel on the inside of the band that slight, very slight movement that you would get in like very, very tiny etchings inside, like somebody had etched very, very tinily, magical working. And it seems, you are pretty sure, to do something similar as to what the candles themselves were doing. The ones that would protect against Witcher notes.
I look at the etching inside. It says Ashnaz Durbatuluk.
Nope.
Ashnaz.
I will go to break.
No,
I'm not having
don't-
Saruman show up
Do
in my
not speak
goddamn
the
room.
foul language of Mordor here.
No. But that is actually a great place. We're gonna take our break right now and get.
Wait, did
get
Saruman just
stretched.
show up?
No, but we're
dang
going
it.
to
We
break
gotta
now.
go.
I need to stretch, get some water, get some snacks. We'll come back and we'll find out more as everybody's, deep diving into all of these things. I'm here for it. And we'll be back in a few minutes, everybody. The backstage chat is interesting, y'all. Just saying. But we're back. How you all? Got refreshed? Have a drink?
Got snacks.
Hi, everyone.
So you're digging into all this shit you found in the lady's carriage.
Yeah, well,
Well-
I think I'll make breakfast now and then we can hit the road.
When we left, our dear Cadarn
Oh, that's right.
was noting that there were etchings in there, and that it helped protect against Witcher noticings.
And
Interesting.
No, that's not gonna work.
Do you tell us this?
Yes.
And then Yanto
is-
sort of like, and he puts his hand out to look at the Deshulon ring.
Do you think we can
He
pick
tries
up the
to take
sigil,
it
the symbol,
from
but without
Cadarn.
disrupting its magical properties?
Wait. I thought the symbols were what made it magic.
No, it's like the crest.
Oh,
Can we take off the crest? Is it without
you want to remove
the signet part? Without damaging its magical properties?
I mean, as a budding crafter and also a
Or
mage.
cover it? Could it be covered?
Yeah, is there a way to alter?
Yanto puts his
Hey.
hand out for this ring.
Yeah.
I'll give it to Yanto.
He puts out his jeweler's loop, and he inspects those inner etchings to try to gain a sense of when they were done. The question is if these are done
Ooh.
very recently, right? Because
can't see
this, I looked. And I look again, and I look at Cadarn, and I look again, and I look at Cadarn.
Right.
I close my eyes, and I'm going to run my finger along it because the last time I dealt with illusions with werewolves, I had to do it without my eyes. So I sort of run my fingers along it to see if I can feel any writing.
Nope.
And I hand it to you, back to you, Cadarn, with like, I shake my head and I put my loop back in my little jeweler's packet.
What is it?
Writes down, pulls out a fresh piece of paper because you burned the last one. And he writes down,
At least we have more paper now. And
there's
a writing
no-
desk. You can use the writing desk.
there's no writing on the ring.
Well, no, give me that.
Hands it back to you.
Oh, yeah, no, I can clearly see it. It reads, only awesome people can read.
Oh, let me see. Brenna, so she can look at it.
Brenna, when it's
Can I
in
see
your
it?
hand and you bring it up that close to your face, you get the most minute of vibration on your amulet. On your Witcher medallion.
Mhm. But can I see anything?
No.
But it is magical. I just hold it real close and then hand it back.
Yanta just shakes his head.
Are there
I couldn't
still
see any writing either, though.
writings on it?
Are you looking just with your eyes?
With my eyes first. I'm gonna do the mundane person thing first.
When you look with just your eyes, no, there is nothing there.
And then I'm gonna look with my magician's eye.
Your sexy
Yes,
magic
use-
eyes.
Use your sorceress eyes and tell me what your tell me, Kadan, what do your sorceress eyes see?
They're taking the rings to Mahalkam.
What?
Doesn't have quite the same.
No,
feel.
I know.
No.
But when you look with magic, yes, you can see.
The markings are magical. You need to be attuned to chaos to see it.
Let's see.
Luckily
Yeah.
for you, I am. And now I'm
Very
going to read
fortunate.
it. I'm gonna read it not out loud. I want to decipher these markings.
And I
And
would love
then
it if
I'll
you
let
could-
everyone know what it is without unleashing whatever hell. I've learned my lesson.
Roll education. Or magical training, one of your choice. Use
Magical training, or what's the other one?
education.
I had a pen and paper, you can write them down.
You also have 4 blessings from chat.
I'll go with. I hate being a one-trick pony, but God, does magical training do everything in this game?
It does.
I'm going to use a point from chat.
Yanta's going to pull out the letter that he received way back on episode 1 and read it while this is happening. Reread it.
But it's just waiting to hear the answer to her question.
19.
Okay. So, hold on. I'll go in circle so that people tell me what. Okay, so we're going to start with Kader, and then we'll go to Brenna, and then we'll go to Yanto. Just to make my life easier. The 19. They are symbols that match the symbols that you found inside along the base of the candles that were used in the Osvacht to hide the bruxa from the perception of Avicha. With the information that you have from the candles and the information and the particular symbols that you can see on this ring, you can add to your sheet that you can now ritually create something to hide magical castings from witches. You can hide from Witcher Medallion if you.
Yeah, that's the monster hiding ritual that I started to.
You can also access. You know that it can be anchored to physical objects, and not just need the ritual for the candles. You could actually anchor it specifically to a ring, and it would be permanent. Or jewelry.
Brenna had brought out the Javik letter, right, to compare.
Get all the letters out on the table.
Yeah, Yanta's gonna sort of add his letter, his original letter,
The one about
to
the
that
door.
Yes, to the pile.
Yep.
To compare them while this whole conversation is going on.
It has the same ink, different handwriting.
Different handwriting completely.
Yes, because you don't have the. Because nobody's brought out the second.
Yes, we had that one too. We compared both of those.
No, we have the letter from Javik that was cursed in Javik, but you didn't. Did you?
Darren hasn't brought out his letters.
Oh, the lady R letters. Yeah. I meant the other one because we have the 2 letters that had a similar message about the door.
So both of the door letters are out.
Yep.
They both have the same ink. They have different handwriting.
The door letter for Javik had one set of handwriting on the outside, a different set of handwriting on the inside.
Yes.
But that was the curse, and then there was the letter that was stabbed to Eleanor.
Yes.
Which was
which
the
are
other.
the 2 door letter, which is the second door letter.
Yeah.
And that very much has a different handwriting.
So do we have 2 or 3 different handwriting samples right now?
Door letter number 1, handwriting sample number 1. Door letter number 2, handwriting sample number 2.
Okay.
Letter from Javik, handwriting sample number 3.
But Javik has 2 different handwriting samples. The outside.
The outside and the inside, they don't match. So technically 4. Technically it's 4.
And the outside letter of Javik matches the ink.
Brenna's
Brenna's one.
Brenna's
wanted handwriting.
Yep.
And but the Brenna's wanted thing does not match the ink. The other
but it matches the handwriting.
It matches the handwriting. Lady Rillowin's matches ink, and there's similarities to the handwriting, but they're not the same. Brenna wanted an answer to a question, which was what?
Well, she was asking Darren because he's investigating. So that we can't take off the Deshalon crest without ruining the magical properties of the ring.
No.
Can we cover?
Okay. Can you hide
the Deshalon crest?
Yeah, that would be easy.
You could wear it on the inside, right?
Or you could even.
Well, no. we cover it with something else. You don't want to just put on the inside because someone sees the inside of your hand, they see the ring.
Yeah, you can literally, and any jeweler or craftsman can tell you that you can make a little cover for it.
Yeah, she'll ask, could either of you make a cover for this ring? I don't know if either of you can do jewelry.
Not out here in the open, in the middle of nowhere.
We have some jewels I guess we could use.
And you have a shit ton of gold coins.
And gold coins.
Yes,
we
but
could build
if
gold.
you want me to modify this ring, I need a forge. I need fire to heat up.
You look skeptical, Yanto. What is your input into the situation? And then she'll lean in and she'll whisper into Yanto's ear because Darren doesn't know. I want to cover the ring and give it to Artso so he'll feel more comfortable. He can wear it. He won't show up as a curse for everyone.
He just looks over at Ardzo, like that was like one of the sweetest things, you know?
That's what she says.
He nods.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks over at Kadarin. And he because he's had his jeweler's loop out because he was looking at the ring itself.
Mm-hmm.
And he just puts
Bruna
his
doesn't know
jeweler's
jewelry. She's like, oh yeah, a looky glass. A close item looky glass. Sure.
Yeah. And he sort of puts his jeweler's loop back in his jeweler's kit. And he sort of rolls it up and he tucks it in one of his pockets. It just sort of looks at Kadarin. Like, interesting.
What?
I think it'd be...
Look, I can probably cover it right here, right now, if you wanted me to, but it's going to look ugly because I'll do it with my bare hands and zero tools.
And he pulls out his jeweler's tools and he just slides them over to Kadarin and leans back to
Yanto's
watch.
like, here's my toolkits. Let me see what you can do. Lockpicking and jeweler crafting.
I'm going to burn some of my stamina because, oh shit, I have to remove that. Catsfin's Grasp is 4. Okay, cool. I got a long rest, right?
Yes, everybody got a long rest, and we're using the short rest rules anyway, so it doesn't...
No, but what I meant is like my
your
stamina's
stamina's all back. You slept.
Okay. So,
we woke you up and then started berating you with questions and intrigue.
I will take... Oh, God. Do you have any preference in the coinage? And also, who is
Mahalkam
this
coins.
ring going to be for? Because I need to figure out their ring size.
I think
Look, I don't know a lot about jewelry, but I know that rings go on finger
That's
or
true.
in other places.
It's
Can I assess if it would fit Artso? I know Artso's hand.
That's true. You do know Artso.
You can.
And it is a man-size ring.
It is a man-size ring. You can roll. You can roll fine jewelry.
Mm-hmm. $22.
Yeah, you could make it fit. It'd even be close. You know.
And I just say, you don't need to do much resizing. And I just like on the little piece of paper.
I looked at Yanto, and I'm like, all right, I know. All right, okay. This is for you. Like, I don't say it, but like, I completely misinterpret.
Yeah.
So I'll use Catsfin's Grasp to warm my hands.
I'll pick a Mahalkam coin for him to cover.
Yeah.
I'll pick up okay, so we'll take a Mahalkam coin. Basically, I'm going to use the heat from the spell because, Jesus, the spell is hot enough to make shit catch on fire. Actually, it superheats it. So I figure I can...
You can manipulate. Roll me
with
spellcasting.
Jewelry tools, though.
Yeah.
You know.
And Yanto's just gonna watch you to see what
Roll
your
me spellcasting, not the damage.
Yeah, sorry.
see what your technique is like.
Yeah, you can control the heat of this fire as much as you want.
Hot. Do you have a container? Stone container?
Yeah,
A pestle?
probably like a
Mortar?
yeah,
Anything.
like a pedal, like a
Pulls out,
mortar.
like some leather, and he hands you like a little bit of leather.
I'm just gonna like drip the fucking coin on it. Take the ring, get to work with Yanto's tools. I don't know why you're the jeweler. Why am I the one doing it?
Look,
Because you
I
said
did
that
the
you
lock
could.
picking. Uh-huh.
He's like when you
And Yanto was like, "Here's the lock picking tools.
Let's
This
see how
is
you
the
do."
day, the episode. This is the episode where Yanto just smugly slides over his tools to be like, I want to see you do it."
and then you
Yeah.
do really well, and he's like, all right.
Roll
Okay.
me crafting. You get the +2 because you have the right tools.
It's fine arts. It's not
It's fine.
crafting.
It's fine arts.
Yeah.
Well,
Oh.
It's
yeah,
yeah.
do fine arts.
Well, it is under craft.
It is
No,
under
it's not.
I think.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's
it's
under fine arts.
empathy.
It's under fine arts.
Oh.
Yeah, it's under fine arts
so-
because
Yeah, I'm
crafting only
not
works for the
jeweler.
things that are actually in the.
Mhm.
Mhm.
in
So
the
I got a
like-
+2. I'm also going to put 1 point of my own luck. I'm not going to burn the pool just to like show up to.
I'd say use one from the.
20.
Oh no,
20 is not bad. 20 is not bad. It looks good. It's not like a master craftsman. Definitely.
No, but
But a respectable
it's
journeyman
not a
work.
fucking weapon, so
No.
of course I'm able to make it.
Yes.
The weapon would be crafting. That's-
Yeah, but I've never look. I rolled like 8
I know.
times to craft a fucking sword, and it never worked.
This
Yeah.
is the biggest hilarity. He can craft anything but the damn sword.
Yeah. He's like, right? Because like he's like, okay, so my sister's gonna be doing lockpicking. Interesting. Let's see how that works. And you're gonna do jewel crafting. Interesting. Let's see how that works. He's like, all right, you're not bad.
Not bad. It actually looks good and pretty well made. Settles well.
You would never know it was the old Deschalon signet ring.
Mhm.
Cool.
There you go, Yonzo.
And then he hands it over to Brenna.
Thank you.
What?
This looks very good.
You could have just told me it was for you.
I walk away.
And he points to Brenna, like with a question mark.
I just walk away, and I put it in the art zone. It's real sneaky.
Okay, so you give it to Arzo, who's asleep in the carriage.
Yeah, I just go slip it on his finger, so my medallion will shut the fuck up. For once.
Once it's on his hand, the medallions.
I think for the first time, or one of the first times in weeks, she's just like, ah. But also, it should help him feel better too.
You
because
were-
he was really paranoid when he first met her. Like he was super on edge, and now he should feel a little better. Love you, Billy. Yeah. So she slips it on. And then she walks away. And
And
walks
then it
back.
starts again because I have a magic dagger and a magic ring that we just picked up.
But it's not like lycanthropy curse level of
No. Well, I don't know.
constantly
I don't know how
been
the
on
magic
for
is.
weeks.
Mm,
It's
mm,
just
mm.
it's yeah. She's
But
more
imagine
comfortable in
all the
Artso's
practical uses.
proximity. I can now react to magical objects a little better now because it's
Yeah.
not just constantly vibrating.
Oh no, I meant you literally had a magical vibrator with you.
Yeah.
It's true.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, but that's tied to Ardzo, and that would mean never mind. I don't want to think about it.
Yeah.
She just needs to.
mm.
She just needs to be in the room adjacent.
Yes, that's
So
right.
It's the room next door. Artso, I need you to scoot closer to the wall.
Alright, so I was like, why do we always take separate rooms at an inn? And I'm always just the wall behind her. I keep hearing her.
Look, it'll be entertaining. Hi, Billy. We love you, Billy.
I believe.
Billy.
But yeah, and then so by the time Brenna's back, I have the dagger and the ring
Mhm.
out, and I'm focusing on both of
Yeah,
them.
I would
trying
say
to
it's the
figure out.
equivalent of lately. It's just been like when you're at the airport and you're checking luggage, and then your bag just won't shut up, and you're like, "No, please stop anything, no." The batteries. Yeah, it's not
So-
pleasant. You want it to stop. You don't.
So, Kadern is looking at the metal ring that matches the hairpin.
Yes.
which is still behind his ear.
Yanto sees this other ring and dagger, which I don't think he's seen before, and he's like, interesting. He just sort of notes them.
Roll me magical training.
Once for both, or one for each?
Once for both, because they're both there, and it... Or you
Cool,
want-
I know sweet fuck all.
Do you want to re-roll it?
Well, I can't. I could spend 4 points of luck on it.
Yes, you could. There are even 3 points of luck in chat.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant. So 3 in chat and the 2 that I have, I could bump it up to a 13. I don't know. What does the rest of the group say?
I want to
We still have
know.
a few days before Mahalkam, so you could try looking at it later. You might just be
It's
exhausted from looking at things from today. We're like, here, Kadarn.
Yeah, no, I
Kadarn.
my first thought was to not re-roll it
Mm-hmm.
and just go, well, these are magical. I don't know what they do, but they're made out of the same stuff that this is made out of. So I figure they protect you from the wild hunt.
Mm.
I don't know why I'm saying their name
No, you should
in
probably say
the
it very
hushed
cautiously
tones.
because they're
They're not
after
gonna.
you.
Wild hunt, wild hunt, wild hunt.
Don't
Hey,
press your
Kadarn.
luck.
Hmm? Does the wild hunt show up?
I need you to roll resist magic, please.
Ah, good fucking thing I didn't waste my luck on that other roll. All right,
Use
I'm
it
gonna
now.
put all
Use some
the.
of the group luck.
All right, I'll use 1 from the group and the rest
Okay.
of my own luck
Oh,
for a
that's-
17.
You
I don't
get a
even
plus
know why
1
I did
willpower from me because I'm a psychic bird. Wrong game.
Okay.
If only
And it still wouldn't
Oh,
help
no.
you with a 29.
I couldn't have beat the.
Oh.
And Yando's like
Oh, no.
peeping the ring because he's like,
Cool.
oh, that's a ring I haven't seen. He's just kind of like noting it.
Yanto,
no.
as you're noting that this is a ring you haven't seen before,
He's like,
and you're noting that Kadarn is doing something perhaps magical, because I mean you've seen him basically just spend a bunch of time staring intently at a bunch of these objects.
which I suppose is magical, right? Who knows how magic people work?
You know he was identified magical items before, and you watched him do this. You see his eyes glaze over.
Oh, no.
Has he done that before?
No.
Yes, but you've never seen it.
Kadarn?
I wait.
In my younger days, I might have imbibed.
Yeah, it's not that
Some
kind of
substance.
glazed. It's not that
Okay.
kind of glazed.
I think
I look
think
at the ring
seeing
and
that,
I'm
Brenna's
like,
just like,
oh, dude.
Kadarn?
There is no
Kadarn.
response.
I slap him.
Uh,
How you snap people out of it?
Deep
Assumes
down,
Brenna.
I like it,
Violence
but I
is
can't
the
show
answer.
Kadarn.
I don't use the front of my hand. I use the back of the hand, so it's a little gentler.
No, that's not gentler. That's less gentle.
Fine.
That's
fine.
less gentle. This side of your hand is way more gentle than the part with all the bones in front of it.
Well, you're not gonna let it slickly to hit as hard with the side with all your bones because
Do you have any rings?
Well, her right.
Yeah, you just got married.
her wedding
Yeah.
ring. But she's
Yeah.
not slapping you with that hand. She's slapping you with her other hand. She's left-handed, so she's slapping you with her right hand.
You're getting
to
a pimp
make-
slap, and it's gonna hurt. Is all I'm saying.
That's what I. Yeah.
Yeah, you're getting her offhand, her right-handed pimp slap. Yeah. It could be a lot harsher. I guess I'll roll brawling for that.
It could be a closed fist. You know.
Could be. I could use the hilt of my sword and knock you out. I don't.
Yes, you've
We're
done that
just
before.
I have. Just get through. Oh God, I'm sorry.
Kadarn's head will snap to the side, but he does not regain any. And like he'll start to have a bruise on his cheekbone because you tried really hard to.
I'll make me slap you. She'll be like, "Damn, that usually works."
So
Uh,
I couldn't defend, so it's a plus 30 crit.
No, there's no damage.
The
You're not
head
gonna
just
crit.
goes flying.
You're straight to the head, instant decapitation. And I'm so sorry, Kader.
No, you did not decapitate Kadarin. You're just slapping
Oh,
him.
good. I didn't decapitate him with my bitch slap.
His
Don't
head
remark
snaps to
on
the
that.
side, but it doesn't wake him up. He's still disoriented. From Kadarin's
Right.
perspective, however.
Something else I'm gonna try. Let me know when it's that time.
Yeah,
No,
let
I
me
gotta
come back.
try next. I got a better try than you do.
Kadarin,
Oh yeah. Oh
from
yeah.
your perspective, you feel something pull you away from where you are. Your consciousness seems almost like this description of what an out-of-body experience must be like, at least from read in book. You can see everything happening. You can see Brenna slap you across the face so hard that you're pretty sure she may have cracked your cheekbone as your head snaps to the side. But she kind of didn't mean to do it that hard. It's just
That's what I said. That's all I'm saying.
But you also can sense something trying to come in.
Nope. No. I swim back into my body while yelling, no, 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 no.
May I have my attempt to
You may have your
sap him out of it?
attempt now.
She tries violence, which is very her. I really don't know what that's about.
It's violence has solved all of Brenna's problems up to this point. I don't know how I can make this more
Well,
clear.
I will solve the problem the way that I always solve problems. And I go and I plant a big kiss on him. Because that's how we've solved these problems before.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
Yeah.
roll.
Seduction?
Switching has solved problems.
Please seduce me out of possession.
I will seduce you out of possession. 24.
You can watch
I
as
will-
Yanto will come up and
Like a
very
really
I will
good
say-
smooch.
I will say my slap beat the Wild Hunt's DC. That's all I'm gonna say.
Why do
It's
you
not
think it's
the
a
wild hunt. I know who I want.
I rolled a 29, I rolled a 30. That's all. I'm just satisfied about that.
You know what, though?
personally.
Hold on a second. For the record, I would like to spend all 7 of my luck to boost that up to a 31.
So
I
that
want
you
this to
can
be-
win.
Yes. And also, so that this is like the best.
The best.
The best.
smooch she's ever had.
Yes. I want this to be the best smooch.
Um,
Best
Noted.
smooch.
Kadarin, you are going to get. You see that it is a fabulous, well, seductive. It is Lauren Bacall into Have and Have Not sex on a just celluloid moment. Kiss. You know, it's the kiss at the end of Princess Bride.
Oh. That's famous.
There are 5 that are, you know,
And
this
you
one top to
didn't
bottom
yeah.
kind of moments. But, and you can feel this presence trying to take over your body. You may roll resist magic again. I would like to tell you that you have 3
Slap and
points
a
of
smooch.
luck from chat.
Nah, I'm burning it all. But then again, if
Yeah.
it's 29, the only way I can get it is if I roll attack.
No, it's a different roll, so it
Okay.
will be a new roll from them as well.
20.
23.
No, 20 with the plus 3.
Plus a bonus for my amazing kiss. It was the best kiss. You
Yeah,
get, like,
is there a slap and smooch bonus?
I will
Mm.
give you a +2 for the slap and smooch bonus. The double team
That's
from
that's
the
tonight's episode title.
mhm,
A
mhm.
slap and smooch. I'm here for it. People be like, "What does it mean?" And then,
We got it.
oh,
The,
Yeah.
the slap and smooch did it.
Smooch.
clip this, please.
Behold the power of slap and smooch. The good old sibling 1-2.
One sibling slaps you, the other sibling smooches you, and you don't really know which way's going on. But you know.
But you feel this presence try and take over, and as you kind of force yourself back into your body, you realize 3 things will come to you. Number 1, it is alien in a way that you cannot comprehend. Number 2...
Wait. What was alien? The presence trying to come in?
It didn't
Or
feel
the
like
kiss.
any casting of magic.
Okay, because I was curious. It's either that or the kiss. I mean, out of 31, it is out of this fucking world.
Also, one of the best slaps you've ever probably had.
That's probably true. It was a
Crit
really good
30.
slap.
Yeah, no, that's best slap, best kiss.
You're like, this is like, I don't need any more for my day. Like, my day's perfect now. I have the best slap and the best kiss.
Yeah.
But the presence that was trying to take you was alien in a way that you almost cannot comprehend. But at the same time, it felt like there was some sort of connection, understanding, something that was there that you should understand, but you've never experienced.
Okay.
Number 2, it didn't feel like any channeling of chaos from anybody or from any way that you've experienced in Banard, but it did feel like channeling of chaos.
Okay. So it would you say it felt more like raw chaos? Or no, let me ask it. Would you say I kind of know what it's like because I'm attuned to that particular side of chaos? Let me refresh your memory.
Yeah, totally refresh the memory. No, I mean, like, yes and no. Yes, in the sense that it feels very similar, but nothing to that type of chaos that you've used before. But it's not in any way, or that attunement that you have, but it's not in any way you've ever heard described or used in that way.
So you're used to regular chaos. This is like Baja Blast chaos. You know, it's just different, but it's similar.
No, it's a channeling. It was a manufactured spell. It wasn't just like a blast from, you know.
Okay.
Okay, so it was definitely something like ordered, basically.
Mm-hmm. Some sort of, but it wasn't like any spell work that you learned in Banard.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't feel like that. The only thing that you've ever felt similar in any way, shape, or form is that brief moment when you felt Alienor teleport. And it wasn't Alienor you felt it from.
Damn.
If he wakes up after my kiss, I'm taking credit, by the way. That's all I'm saying.
Am I in?
I would like to say that you will wake up, and I will allow you at what point during the end of this kiss that you awaken to, and what your response is.
Mm-hmm. My next try was going to be to axie his brain. So.
Wow, nice. Okay.
Should try to, if someone else is trying to fuck around in there, we fuck around and find out too. Maybe. I don't know.
So, what happens is Kadern stays as motionless as he can, even when I'm in full control of my thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm waiting for Yanto to be done.
I finish the kiss and I wait that pause.
Yeah. And you notice that Kadern still doesn't move.
Oh. Well, the slap didn't work.
And then there's just a tiny whisper that says, "Maybe you need to kiss me again."
Oh. Oh, did he say I needed to slap him again? Is that what?
My hand up, and I just wait. And I write really quickly, the sacrifices I make, and I hand you the note, Brenna, and then I'm going to the most dramatic way possible.
And she'll just say, "You poor thing."
I'm gonna dip him, right? So that we are illuminated in front of the fire, and then I'm gonna give him the best and most playful and sort of fun kiss as possible. Like
what a morning, y'all.
like this is the kiss of
I
like
thought you had breakfast.
of how would you call it? Like exuberance, right? Like things are going to be okay kind of kiss. And also he was being funny, and Yanto enjoys funniness, especially at this moment.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. Even though he
15.
spit in my mouth.
I did not spit in your mouth, so 15 is pretty decent.
It's a 15. It's actually still very
Yeah,
good.
no,
But, in comparison
yeah.
to the 31 that woke you up,
Nothing will, that's the problem. That's the downside of everything today, is that I will
never get a
no
better slap or
longer
kiss.
get any joy from any kiss ever. Like, that's it. I've reached nirvana.
Nah,
I
I'm
cannot
sure.
go any farther.
Well, I do have some
Maybe we just need to find
makeup
you
and
a
perfume I
bruxa.
could use, but but yeah, Bruxas will do it.
They roll 40s.
And then
Yeah, but like, I don't know that.
it's true.
Yeah, that's fair. We don't know that.
So,
But I'm just
okay,
saying.
okay.
And 40 was in seduction, not in a kiss. Maybe she kisses
That's
like
true.
crap.
It's possible.
That could be.
So,
Then I lift you back up.
Yeah.
I
Wow.
would say,
The spell
are you
broken.
alright? Yeah, but I mean, perhaps we should not name the hunt that must not be named.
I don't think it wasn't them. I don't think it was them. There was something.
You're pretty sure the last time you felt magic like that was when Eleanor
It's a wild hunt.
swept away,
It's
but
the
it wasn't
wild
from
hunt.
her.
Oh, it is. I need to stop
Yes.
saying their names out loud.
Let's not. How about we make a thing right now?
How-
where
how
none of
about-
us say that name.
Yes, and we
Mhm.
should get the fuck out
Moving. Yeah. we can
because
have
they're probably
fresh-
on their way.
Let's go.
I'm just gonna pocket the dagger in the ring again, and I'll be like, "Oh,
Pick up the letters.
yeah."
Look at the data. Yeah. Perhaps we just.
Do
just pack up,
do we need to?
go.
Do we really want to bring the desk with us?
The writing desk? It'll help Yanto. He's writing all of his things for the next couple of days.
Nice, yeah, that's true. Do we have enough horses for both carriages?
Oh yeah, he's already double hitched.
Good. I'm not driving any of them.
Yanto will drive. I will ride confidant, and then you can ride in the cabin with Arzo. Perhaps you can study them in the carriage while you're riding with Arzo.
Yes, far away from the big, loud creatures.
Yeah, the groups that must not be named.
No horses.
Oh, rolls her eyes and just kicks out the campfire. We're like ready to just gets ready to go. Roll fast. Speed ready. Speed leave.
Of the writing samples we have,
Mm-hmm.
of which we have quite a few actually. We have a bunch of different writing
Mhm.
samples.
We knew.
The letter that was written to
Getting
Yanto
like Pokemon cards.
in the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a match on any other example that we have?
No.
He thinks about that. He shows his letter, the actual handwriting, to Kadern to see if Kadern recognizes the handwriting at all.
Good, Aaron, roll me awareness.
What do my mage eyes see?
Well, it's kind
Besides
of,
the fact I'm a super good kisser.
I mean,
That was
But
my
I'm a
lips.
very good
eyes.
slapper.
That's also true.
That was my cheek.
nice bruise.
You saw it
forming.
coming.
I
You
think I
couldn't
have
move
like a
out of the way.
handprint.
Yeah.
It's probably exactly a handprint. Kind of like but the back of the hand.
Yeah.
So
It's like, oh, look, your fingers. I can see your fingers on his face.
Mhm. Sorry.
So,
we could
in
stop that. Also can treat it while we ride.
So okay. Yeah, it'll get treated. We're assuming that you get treated. There's no damage. You take no hit point damage.
For a bruise? Nah, I'm gonna take a recovery action.
It doesn't matter. We've got Arzo's in the carriage. You don't have to worry about it.
Oh yes,
He'll
please,
just put-
doctor,
he'll just rub
stitch me.
some salve on it.
Yeah,
It
he's got some.
didn't break skin.
He's got
It's
a
just
lot
a
of salve, so
handprint.
that- He's got a
There's
lot of
just, I
salve,
think,
it's
for like the
fine.
next day or two, there's just gonna be a Brenna handprint on your face.
I
and
just
it's gonna
can't
make
sleep
her a
on
little
that side.
happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just gonna make her a little pleased.
But you Wait. You're in the carriage and you're
Looking at the
heading
pictures.
down the road.
Looking at
you're
the
looking
letter
at the
that
letter.
Yanto got.
You're looking at the letter that Yanto got. You see similarities because, you know, Kadarin, you are a major fanboy and you are obsessed with this particular spell, and you definitely know some things about this particular mage. You definitely see some handwriting similarities.
To Alzor.
To Alzor. You're like 85% sure he wrote it. I mean, like, accounting for age, discrepancies, desire to change, anything like that.
And this is the only one of the things we have with us that has that handwriting on it.
This is Alzor's. Alzor's. Ugh. See, the slap just got me.
And like Yanto's thinking about that as he's riding the horses. And you can tell that that's confusing to him, right? Like, you're in the carriage and he's up top, but you can tell that's sort of like, well, that's weird. Like, but he cannot write while he's driving. But he clearly thinks that's strange.
And that was, which one of your letters was that?
That was the very first letter that I got that I showed, that I transcribed what it was. You didn't actually see the original letter. I transcribed what it said, and now I'm giving you the actual one.
So it's the one that said the star has fallen.
The way has been opened. It was held by those who are now dead. Come to me, my friends, for I have opened the way. Your friend in peace, B. And that it was specifically addressed to Yanto.
But it was Alzor's handwriting.
And you can tell that this is sort of weighing on Yanto. And I will also note that if I remember correctly, Yanto transcribed this for you and told you in the big letter. But I don't think really anybody else knows about the letter, not because he was hiding it from them, but because it was a thing that he'd kept, and then there were other problems like were creatures, right? And so I don't think he actually brought up that letter to Ardzo or Brenna. And not because he was hiding it from them, because I think he'd asked, I think he'd mentioned the letter probably in front of Brenna.
I think he did mention it to Brenna, and she was like, that's weird.
Yeah, and I don't know if he actually mentioned to it.
But it didn't mean anything to her.
Yeah, I don't know if he mentioned it to her or if he was asking Javik about it when Brenna was was present.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, but like, so you can tell that he's sort of like has a bit of a conundrum for him that clearly sort of doesn't make a lot of sense to him, and like you can tell it as he's driving the carriage. And he has a bit of there's a bit of like a about that. Like he like, it's like furrowed brow, you know, as he's pondering that, because it does not make him happy.
But why would Alzor's write something and sign it another name? That means that whoever is the intended recipient of these letters knew Alzor under a name that starts with B.
And Yanto just like shakes his hand and like shakes his head. Like,
so you do not know anyone whose name begins with B? Not even Brenna?
And he's like up there and he's like, oh, I don't have my paper. But like,
that's not true.
I mean, it was Baldwin, but like,
no, you know someone else whose name starts.
Here's me going through the PDF, the PowerPoint.
Baldwin, bruxa.
I did know one person, but that person's dead.
You don't know that.
Well,
was dead.
Well, you said
allegedly
that
dead.
as a human, right, he would not be alive this much time later.
Probably true. But you've never actually seen him dead.
No, but he was super old, like 60 years ago.
Yep.
And also not a mage,
As far as you know.
as far as I know.
But you do know someone whose name starts with P.
Yes.
And you did receive. Okay, so that's out of game. But didn't you receive that letter also at the same like point in time?
No, I got it when I arrived in Kagan. It had been delivered. It was delivered before I got there, and so I arrived back after traveling. And Jabba's like, "Oh, hey, a letter arrived for you while you were away," and I was like, "Oh, okay." And I was like, "I don't," and of course, my first thought was like, "That's bad," because I don't want letters here. Who's sending me letters here? Because no one should know I'm here, really, except in like my fake guy. So what is this? So it's like for him, it's like he finds this whole letter very odd, right? Because it was sent to him at Kagan, which was a con, right? So he's like, okay, who knows that I'm here, right? Like, what's going on? Why is this letter? I don't recognize this person. This makes no sense to me. So for him, he's like this. For him, it's mysterious, right? He doesn't quite understand why he'd be getting this letter, right? He never really understood it in the first place, but now that it's like Alzor's handwriting, he really thinks that's quite odd since he's never met Alzor as far as he knows. And he's like concerned about it. And I think that he would probably sort of settle on this until they get to like a resting spot.
Someone had to bring you the letter.
He nods.
Someone was there in Kagan that day, bringing you that letter. I don't know if it is possible.
And Yanto has this but can you imagine a blanket of like dim mood just sort of like settles on Yanto for a moment as he realizes something. It's like you can just see like his mood drop a little bit as he realizes something.
And you said Alvar was at Kagan that day.
He was not in a condition to deliver letters.
No. But he was there when the letter was brought, which means he might have seen him, or he might know. There might be a way to know who delivered that letter or what happened in Kagan that day. But I do not like it.
And Yanto nods as if he agrees, but he's probably thinking about something different than what you're thinking about.
What is it? Can you just say what it is? I mean...
I thought it was fairly evident. I'm talking about necromancy.
Oh, well, I mean, that was assumed, but we should just try for clarity instead of assumptions. That way we should...
Yeah, it's just I don't want you to think any less of me.
Yanto stops the carriage.
I mean, it wouldn't be difficult, but it wouldn't be not difficult, so...
Grabs his paper, writes something, and then hands it, like, leans over, hands it through the window to Brenna, and then starts the carriage again.
Brenna's right on horse. She can just take it.
Oh, yeah. And it just says... We, crossed out, Kadern can ask Javik who delivered the letter.
I just passed it through the window.
Was Javik there when the letter was delivered?
He was the one who said Yanto, you have mail. It was delivered.
Oh, well, I didn't think of him.
They were
Okay.
living together. So
I guess I could jaunt back to Passfact.
He left.
Oh,
No,
He told
yeah.
you he left.
Yeah,
he
that's true.
teleported away to Kagan, remember?
Yeah,
He
that's
just said,
right.
I'm leaving. To you.
But I've never seen Kagan.
Well,
I've never. No, I have.
You have.
That's where Iskander is.
yeah,
Oh, he's a little bit outside of Kagan, but he's not far, right?
Well,
Because he's not
not far.
in Kagan.
Okay. Well, the problem is you are still going to be moving. I cannot
Yeah.
teleport in a moving.
Perhaps we
Object?
should get established
If we
for
find
time is in.
our next stop, wherever it is,
Which would be Beauclair, would it not?
City or stop?
even if we found a roadside inn or anything.
Because we're coming through the pass, right? We're going to be getting to the river, the river stream, and then we're going to be taking a boat from there, I think.
It's 6
Ooh.
days by boat to.
Which is faster than taking the carriage. So we put the carriages on the barges, I imagine, and
Mm-hmm.
barge down.
To Mahalkam.
Well, to Beauclair, and then we've got to go
Yeah,
from
well,
Beauclair
I know, and then to Mahalkam.
to Bellhaven, then Bellhaven through the pass, through Kagan, and then up to Mahalkam. Like it's a.
We have to pass through Kagan again to get to Mahalkam? We're not on the map, so
it's
I don't
on
know.
the way.
Yeah,
it's on the way.
Mahalkam is north of Kagan.
Yeah.
Do we have a map page on the Roll20? Can we just be on the map? For reference for
the
things?
whole map is not on Roll20 because it wouldn't load, but it is in the pinned
Okay, no, that's
discussion on Discord.
Yeah.
It's a very good map.
It's just very
yeah,
large.
less convenient.
Yes, it's just a very big map.
We just need to take the southern half of the map and just like the section we're bopping about in. Okay, to Mahalkam.
Yeah, it's a like we're going quite a ways, and we have to go because
Oh
of the,
yeah, we do. We do
Yeah.
pass through.
and it's because of the mountain
Well,
passes.
pass
right?
by.
Yeah, it's
yeah.
the mountain passes,
Mhm.
it's basically. So you're doing what you can to get through the mountain passes and all of it.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay, okay.
Yeah, and it's so yeah, we're gonna Castel Ravello would be a hit thing we hit beforehand, right?
Yeah.
And
We
then
did Castel Ravella.
Beauclair if you want to go by river.
Beauclair, and then Bellhaven, and then Kagan.
Yeah. Because we have to hit.
Going
Yeah.
back the way we came.
Yes, we are. We're going right back the way we came. I mean, we could theoretically avoid.
I always
Kagan
think
if we needed
Mahalkam is
to.
far more south than it is. I don't know why. I keep thinking that. I just keep thinking it's far more south than it is.
But I think this is a good point to end for tonight.
Does
Mhm.
he teleport away?
Not yet.
Okay.
We'll come back to that
Okay.
next week. And we're going to let everyone, we're going to go around, do the goodbyes, all of those fun things. Because there'll be some interesting things that happen.
We have 3 questions.
You have 3 questions.
Oh, there's Magturga. I know somebody from there.
Yeah.
She's technically not
They're
born
pretty
yet,
cool.
but sure.
I got a friend from there.
She's not going to be born for 50 years, but sure, go right ahead. Yeah, 50. I had to do math in my head. But we're gonna go around, let everybody say goodbye, all of the fun things, because this was a lot of fun. I got to, all of the great details and secrets and things have started to come together, and questions are being asked, and I love it when people make decisions. But we're gonna go in reverse order and start with, he's Simon. Simon. You.
Yeah.
All you.
Hi everyone, I'm Simon at Wandering DM. I'll start with the spiel. You can find me on my channel probably tomorrow night for Sentinels of the Multiverse. There are things happening in my life right now outside of streaming. That means that, like tonight, I can't necessarily make it on time. It also happened on Sunday. But we should be there tomorrow at 30 p.m. Eastern for Sentinels. Then on... Wait, that's Thursday? Yeah, Saturday. afternoon for Scion at 1 p.m. Nothing Sunday, but I'll be back here next week for more Witcher.
All the Witcher love.
Though I may be in potato quality.
In potato quality, but what kind of potatoes? Like a really nice baked potato, some au gratin potatoes, like because potatoes are pretty awesome.
Like russet potatoes,
Yeah,
red
yeah.
potatoes,
Yeah,
yellow
what are we-
potatoes.
What are we talking
What
about?
kind of potato?
I
Starchy?
don't
Soft?
know.
Oh.
I just won't be in 4K. That is all.
Okay.
I know.
Um, But that said, I want to give all my love tonight to Yanto and Brenna for the slap and smooch.
Tag team.
Yeah, because like, I missed a big part of tonight's episode, so it was mostly
Slapping
the
and
interactions
smooching.
we had. Yes, slapping and smooching. And I cannot wait for Yanto to be able to talk again so we can have a conversation. Because so far, Kadern is noticing that Yanto is probably the only person he doesn't mind listening to. And that 31 is nothing to do with it.
I'm sure it doesn't. I will just say that he's hoping he doesn't heal quickly because he's afraid of what you might ask. He's like, oh, I don't want people to ask me questions. Like, nobody should ask me questions. The whole point with the tongue thing was that you could not ask me questions.
Brenna's planning to ask questions and
Dang
favors
it.
without his tongue in so that he can't say no as fancily. That's her plan for next week. I'm just saying.
So now, thank you, Simon, always. And then directly underneath Simon, we have Lindy. Hey, Lindy. How are you? How we doing?
It's me. Oh, we're doing spiffy. It's love to Simon for being totally fine with that crit bitch slap across the face. Take your poor character. I'm sorry. But it's a tried and true strategy to snap people out of it. And you know, it worked. So, in conjunction with the smooches, and I appreciated Yanto. I loved him being like, "Oh, you're trying to thing. Here's my tools. I'm gonna judge you now," and it just made my day. I just thought that was a great. And the fact that it was able to happen twice in one episode,
Yep.
I thought that was wonderful. I just loved it, and it gave Brenna an idea, so that's fine. It's gonna be great.
Well, that seems distressing.
It's gonna be fine. You don't need to worry about it.
But
you can
Brenna's ideas
find-
usually involve stabbing people.
Ooh, this one doesn't. It involves stabbing people.
Yeah, I knew it.
It doesn't involve stabbing people. It involves stabbing something else. But it's fine. You're gonna be fine with it. I think he'll say yes. And you can find me online at LaughLoveLindy, Twitch, Twitter, YouTube, etc. I like to play and GM games. You can find me. Normally, you'd find me on Trooper's channel on Fridays, but we're having for City of Light and Shadow. But there's a special solo episode for KP this week, so I will not be there. But you should definitely go check it out. And you should also check out before that the Mech 10 that Prax is running. But you'll find me next on Sunday night for Romance of the Blue Rose with these wonderful. No, not this Sunday. Is this
No,
the
not this
Sunday
Sunday.
we're skipping?
Yep.
Well, dang it. You'll find me on Monday or Tuesday on my channel, and then I'll be back here again on Wednesday for Witcher. And that's me.
Oh, you're going to find Lindy on the 24-hour stream she agreed to do with me, starting in like 4 minutes. It's really cool.
Yes.
She's done all the
Let's
assets.
do it.
She's
Let's go. Yeah, no, I'm ready. Let's go.
not call her bluff.
Let's do
That's
this.
it. She's like, that's it. I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm on.
Look, if there's a stream that will end up being 24 hours, me, Lindy, and Trooper, we've got it.
Yeah,
Go.
It's true.
I was gonna say I'm fine. I haven't even had caffeine today. Let's go. I'll
we
be
can do
awake
it. We could
24
probably do
hours.
it. We could definitely do it.
Yeah.
But just gonna give a shout out to Valtiel. Glad you enjoyed it. Also, you can if you see in the link in chat, my YouTube channel, all of the previous episodes are up on YouTube. You can go watch them. They are actually in a playlist in order. I try to keep things organized. But you can also, there's the link in chat for the Artalsorian Games, because they are the makers of the Witcher TTRPG, and the book is a wonderful, wonderful, useful tool. It is great. Also,
But-
the
But Prax, which Witcher story would you read first if you're going to read one of the fiction things? Which one is the one to read?
You read the books in order. Well, you
But what's the
start
first
with
one?
The Last Wish.
The Last Wish.
Ta-da.
You start with The Last Wish, and then you go forward. And then, but yes, it's a lot of fun. It's a little dark. There's a lot of interesting, lots of fun things. But then that leads me to the wonderful, wonderful Trooper. Hey, Trooper, how are you?
I'm fine. I am Trooper SJP. Woo! This is Gen Con week, so you can find me not streaming tomorrow. I normally stream tomorrow, but not. Friday at noon on Gen Con main stage, I'll be GMing a 2-hour 1960s spy one-shot with an all-UK cast. And then, 7 p.m. on my channel, Trooper SJP, for City of Light and Shadow, where our young, innocent doctor, Prince, is going to go up against probably the most dangerous foe of all, this lovely, pleasant lady, and who is not lovely or pleasant, but you know. And then Saturday, Unexpected Productions, you can see me in some improv at 2 p.m. And Sunday, Faint Dawn at 4 p.m. And that's me, but the love, I think I'm going to give, I'm going to give some love to Prax, specifically answers to the questions, because our questions are weird questions. Sometimes we're like, but what is the GDP of Sodden? And she's like, well, the GDP of Sodden, and then she'll tell you, and I appreciate that, because sometimes you need to know.
Some of those questions are answered by and I wish to share my love, because I freely acknowledge that I check the damn sources, and there's a wonderful people who update the Witcher wiki, are some great people who do a lot of work.
And then I want to give love to Lindy for the lock picking, where she's like, no, I'm just gonna pick this lock. And I was like, all right, let's go see it. And then she does, and it's awesome. And then I want to give love to Simon for if you give me a second kiss, maybe I'll wake up. That's the best. It was just lovely. And I think it's also hilarious. Oh, wait. And then Lindy for the ring for Artso. And then I think that it is the most awesome thing ever that all this happened early in the morning before Artso woke up. Like, that's like so then we had a bunch of shenanigans before he woke up, and then we're gonna so like some things he didn't need to see, like the slapping, that might have upset him.
I
think you've been fine with it.
We'll find out. We will ask Billy when Billy can join us next week, hopefully. But as for me, hey all, you know me. I'm at DareGentleman on Twitter, or Proxworth has me a 4 You see him around here on Twitch, and I love all of my players and all the shenanigans they get up to, even when they are going to ask me about the GDP of Sodden, or who is the current elder-in-chief of Mahalkam.
And did my dad make the ring? No, thank you so much. Like, sometimes a no from your GM is the best answer ever. That's all.
No. Sorry. Like, I will manipulate.
So good.
Anyways, side thing. I like to play with the backstories my players give me. It makes a lot of fun. It makes a lot of drama, which is why for Wednesdays we have Witcher here for Roads Home, which the links again, all the YouTube videos. I see you over there on YouTube. Thanks for all the likes, the support, all the love. We appreciate it. Also, on Friday at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific, we have our third solo episode for Starblade Battalion Seeds with our dear friend Lynn, Flying Sirius on Twitter, and we're going to see what Vantage, call sign Lightning Moraine, has been up to in the 6 months. I mean, she has some issues to work out with, her brother, and then her other brother, who she didn't know was her brother, but apparently was a best friend, mentor figure, and discovering that he is her older brother. And then, there's the whole boyfriend situation that she's got going on. It's a lot. Mechton is a lot. But if you like Gundam or space opera or all of the fun things, come check that out. We'll be here at 3 p.m. Eastern on Friday. And then this Sunday, we will not be having Romance of the Blue Rose. There's some stuff I need to do. So no Sunday Blue Rose, but we will be back here on Wednesday for more Witcher Roads Home. And, you know, because I have time and I'm doing this, you will probably see me tomorrow morning, like 10 o'clock-ish, because I have a goal, and that current goal is I want that perfect destroy ending in Mass Effect Legendary, goddammit, and I'm going for it, so you can come watch me play Mass Effect Legendary Edition. And I will answer and talk and spill about one of my favorite video game series of all IPs of all time. Yes.
May I ask you a question?
Yes.
I'm asking because I haven't.
Okay.
Have you played Andromeda?
Yes.
Did you like it?
I like portions of Andromeda. Lindy and I talked about this.
Yes, we are very like-minded on Andromeda.
We both think that Andromeda is a really great fan fiction set in the Mass Effect universe.
Yeah.
Huh.
It's a fun game.
Uh-huh.
In the Mass Effect universe, I would not market it as a Mass Effect game.
Oh, that's interesting. Well,
But
now I need to know the answer. Why?
Just in the Mass Effect universe.
But we'll talk
Kinda
about the rest of that off screen.
Yeah.
Because...
So, sorry, chat, you don't get to know the great wisdom, pearls of wisdom that Prax is going to drop? Sorry. It's too bad for you.
But you can, again, we'll see you probably tomorrow morning. And other than that, we'll check my Twitter because I post where I'm going to be. All the fun, wonderful, fabulous people like these fine folks here that I get to hang out with, have fun with, enjoy. And then, but let's share some actual love because there's so much shit going around these days. So who can we send some actual love to? Oh, hey, we should go send Myth some love. We're going to send Myth some love.
Ooh.
Because Myth is fabulous and he is great. So he's been
Absolutely delightful.
redemption, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye, everybody.
Slaps and smooches!